answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Now boarding. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, indeed. Welcome in to Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you for the next 3 hours here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 402-464-5685 if you want to go ahead and be a part of the show. Eric's already in. Appreciate it, Eric. As always, I was setting up Jay to give Eric some grief leading off the show because he texted in at 1:39 p.m. today. Hey Farley, hope you're having a good show.
Well,
like that. That's
what's wrong with Eric?
I know something's wrong with him, but also why is he so nice to everyone else, but not to us? But then he texts in and says, "My man Jay freaking Foreman, I hope you're having an amazing week." He also says, "I grilled some brats and made some homemade fries in your honor last night."
Oh, I like that. I love brats.
Oh, shoot. Who doesn't?
Man, I've told you about what happened in Wisconsin, right?
Nothing good happened in Wisconsin. I remember that part of the story.
The only good thing about going up to Wisconsin, it actually was a pretty good
Little
drive.
spotted cow. That's the only good part.
Spotted cow. I swear to God, I ate 50 bratwursts up there. They were so good. And I was, for every like spotted cow beer, I'd have a bratwurst or two.
Oh, yeah.
And the game was at night, that Saturday night game up there.
Mm-hmm. You got all day.
I was up there the day before.
Ah.
So it got it cracking then.
So like Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, got it cracking all night then. Woke up in the morning, hyped, thinking we were going to win. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And here comes the
Here
big
we go.
red, right? Yeah.
Here we go.
I think Bo was the coach then, selling all types of Wolf tickets all through campus, strutting. Just spotted cow, bratwurst. And they were hitting too, man. And they weren't like big ones. They were kind of like not
dinky, but manageable. Yeah.
We went from bar to bar, man, and went into the game. They started getting boat race. Went right back, had my spot right there in front of it, man, and then just eating and drinking my sorrows away. And then they brought the stupid band in there.
Oh, of course they did.
Well, they left.
Of course they did.
So you got all that stuff. But, man, Wisconsin fans are horrible, too.
That bad?
Yeah. Steve Taylor was walking, so like from here to the Hampton Inn over there a little bit, as we were walking to the game. And there was a frat house. They were like, what do they got in Nebraska? Steve Taylor was like, we house 5 national championship rings. How many you got? Oh, buddy, it was just silence. And because his friends were like, oh, he got you. I was like, I hear you, Steve.
Hi, Steve Taylor.
Yeah.
Defend the program's honor.
That's right.
How about it? Eric says, oh, trust me, I give Farley way more grief than you two. He's at Nick Upgrade Sainer level.
Doubtful.
I don't know, Eric. We'll have to check the tape on that one. 402-464, like I said, is the number if you 5685 if you want to be in on the stream, be a part of the conversation. We will be on stream until the Royals complete their comeback win on the road at Detroit. Things look a little bleak, look a little dark for my beloved Kansas City Royals right now. But I am not nearly as desperate as Jake Sorensen is for any semblance of good news. Royals have cut into the lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Lots to get to on Nebraska men's basketball today. We'll dive into the transfer portal here to lead off the show. And then I do want to take a look at Nebraska's offense. Some really interesting visualization stuff from college basketball analytics and what I think could mean for Nebraska next year, how Nebraska can improve. Then obviously we'll have Thirsty Thursday, talk some NBA play-in,
a lot of stuff
and
going on,
more.
man.
It's busy. Busy.
Hey, boy. Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard, T. Lue.
Where are you?
Sphincter muscle is tight.
We are not putting a whoop on it, by the way.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's going to be written all over your face. Listen. That's uncomfortable driving to work. And just imagine if you got
in that traffic. You got to think about it for 4 times as long.
Yep. You know how you have your usual commute? Say it takes 25 minutes, and it takes 45 an hour. Just then it gets hot out there too.
And you can't even go full Klay Thompson and ride your speedboat to work.
Then at 5 o'clock, we're getting back on that portal.
Oh, of course we are.
Because we're going to get back. We're going to start the Jay Foreman series on educating all you people out there that got kids in youth sports going up through high school, how to work in this system. Just going to give you little nuggets. And what was the segment we had yesterday of the week? What was it called?
Suspect Sports Personality of the Week.
We could probably do daily.
We probably could.
We could probably do daily suspects.
We probably could.
Yeah. Because we didn't even get on Ryan Day. We might add it on.
Man.
We might add on, though. I like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying suspect.
He just got a little bit too jiggy with it in front of the microphone.
Which is weird for a guy like Ryan Day that doesn't really do that.
I know. He was like Matt Stafford's wife.
Yeah. A little too much.
Too
much going on there. Yeah. Why, Ryan Day?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I understand what
Did you feel like you've been passed by Dan Lanning in Oregon? Is that why you had to say something?
No, he's not, but he's setting the tone.
Oh, is he ever?
I know old buddies down there in South Florida, but we still want you all. And you coming here? That's what he was doing. He was kind of not separating himself, but he was just literally letting you know we still are wide receiver U.
We are not just an Ohio State University. We are the Ohio State University.
Let's get to your boys now.
All right.
Hey, we'll get to it. We still got 16, 17 minutes. Somebody was talking to me about Detroit in Chicago today.
Oh boy.
All right.
Unprompted?
Yeah. I was in a meeting this morning. They were talking about Chicago and Detroit. I was like, yeah, I've been to both. I
Can't speak for everyone, but I have.
And I played against some brothers from Chicago and Detroit. And that's what this first segment.
Also from Racine, Wisconsin, right?
Hey, man.
Saying you can find them anywhere.
I sent you what happened listen.
Oh, man. Racine.
Listen.
Pull it together.
Racine, Wisconsin. I'm telling you, man. These dudes, I mean, I'm traumatized still. I had to be, if I was 16 years old, let's just say 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 34 years. And I wonder if those guys from Racine, and I doubt they remember. I mean, they should.
Do they even think about it?
If they like say they saw me playing in the NFL, yeah, we blew them dudes out. Hey, all 5 of them dudes are still going to some YMCA just cleaning up cats, and then they're getting together watching some football. Like say when I played against the Bears or the Packers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you remember him? Yeah. We were up by 20 after the first quarter.
56, how much I gave him.
Yep, we gave him work. That's why he's playing football. That's what he said.
Well, what Jay's alluding to is Nebraska men's basketball in the transfer portal. No official updates yet. I feel like we're in Caddyshack. Well, we're waiting.
We're saving it for Friday.
I guess. Nebraska has a plan. Again, not pushing the panic button or anything. The latest update is that Nebraska has had a crystal ball put in from a couple of different people, including Robin Washut of Husker Online, for Nebraska to land Victoria, Minnesota's very finest, Bowden Kapke. Had to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Holy Family Catholic is where he went to high school. Began his career at Butler.
Say that again. Say where he went again.
Holy Family Catholic.
Say it again. And where is he from?
Victoria, Minnesota.
I've been to Victoria. I've been through Victoria.
Haven't been to, you've been through. There's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to see in Victoria.
Except for Holy Family Catholic, apparently.
Like 6'10"?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got Viking blood in him.
He is the Paul Bunyan statue come to life. We'll give him credit for that.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Victoria. He'll be tough. He'll be tough.
Started his career out at Butler, played 56 games for the Bulldogs with 16 starts. Last year, transferred to Chestnut Hill, Boston College, played 31 games, started 17 of them, played about 27 minutes per game, doubling what he did the year before. Again, this is not confirmed, but we can talk through this in a hypothetical, similar to what we did with Drew Fielder, who we are still awaiting any sort of news on. He visited the Pacific Northwest after his Nebraska visit. But Jay, Bowden Kapke, 10.6 points, 5.7 rebounds per game, about 3/4 of an assist per game as well. About a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. More of a low block scoring big man with a little bit of stretch potential.
Yeah,
took about 3 threes per game last year. He's essentially taken 1 extra 3 per game every year of his career. Took just less than 1 3 per game as a freshman, right around 2 per game as a sophomore, and then just about 3 per game last year as a junior with Boston College. Shooting for his career, 32%. But to your point, the best mark of his career, 33% on the highest volume last year.
I think a good stat also, I think he was, 71% from free throws?
Yes.
Free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you can keep him in late in games for a big man like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shows some stretchability, physical, 6'11", 255 pounds, physical. So he comes from a league that where, you got to be able to be physical. He actually played with a kid with the last name Strong that went to high school with my daughter. So I know I'm going to ask him and see, how, get some intel. But a big physical, low post presence is good, along with Leo coming back officially.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, because that's what you saw maybe, the championship game, and then obviously looking, as every other team that you would have maybe faced in the grade 8 and Final Four, they had a physical presence in there, and he can provide that.
You would sure tend to think so. Not an elite defender by any means, about a 1.5% block rate and just under a 1% steal rate, which is pretty much where it's been for his career. Highest block rate and about career average for steal rate. But a big body can eat up some fouls. And I like to try to dive into more than just, the surface kind of box score numbers. And if you go to Ken Pomeroy, like I mentioned, Jay, about a 2-to-1 assist to turnover, or a turnover to assist ratio, about half an assist for every one turnover. Doesn't exactly scream playmaking hub, but then you have to remember, played at Butler, not exactly, a paragon of elite offensive basketball under Thad Matta, and Boston College, which, when's the last time that program was good at basketball? Probably go back to the early mid 2000s with any sort of consistency. And so I'm willing to give him maybe a little bit of a pass, certainly different systems than he would be playing in at Nebraska. But does stand out to me, a 16% defensive rebound rate is pretty solid, but he was also the number 20 defensive rebounder in the entire ACC conference, about an 18% rate in conference play. So that stands out. So he can't eat up space. He's a capable and certainly willing rebounder. One of his comparisons from Ken Pomeroy after his sophomore year at Butler was Quentin Post, who played at Boston College and now is in the NBA with the Warriors. Similar scheme. I can see what Boston College was going for there. Wasn't a high usage guy. And I think that's something that stands out to me as well, because the other guy, like I mentioned, that we haven't heard much from is Drew Fielder. You look at his usage rate and shot rates, a 28% usage rate, and he took 30% of the shots for Boise State when he was on the floor last year. For Bowden Kapke, about a 20.6% usage rate and a 21.6% shot rate. He'll get his, but usually only with an advantage, maybe late in the clock or spot ups. And for a Nebraska team that I think still continues to pride itself on balance, I don't think Bowden Kapke can be it. I don't think he's the one ad that they can get. They're going to need at least another depth piece, and I think they could maybe take a little bit bigger swing at that position and have Kapke and maybe Fielder, in a bit of a rotation there with Curtis coming off the bench as the third big. But if Bowden Kapke's all Nebraska gets, I think it's workable.
Yeah. I think they got that big piece, kind of figured out. Now it's
not quite officially, but leaning that way.
Yeah, if that happens, and obviously it's seems like the crystal ball is leaning towards Nebraska's way. That's a good big get for him, and along with Leo, right? And then now so if you're able to get Fielder, then you feel really good where you're at down there on the block. Now you got to really try to focus on the guard play and try to create some depth there. Then obviously get the guys that you have on the roster better. So as long as everything holds true, it's good. Be interesting to see if they can get both him and Fielder. That would be the best thing for Nebraska. Two bigs that, obviously one's 255. I think Fielder's listed at 225. So he's probably anywhere from 215, 220. But you like guys that can stretch the floor a little bit. I think Fielder is a better 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because he's a decent 3-point shooter. I think he actually,
only 3 more attempts for Fielder on the year, but he went 37 of 90, where Kapke went 29 of 87.
Yeah. And then also I think he's a couple percentage points a little bit higher in the free throw line too.
About a 78% shooter.
And so look, that's where you're interchangeable. So if one guy's in foul trouble, one's not, you don't have to we can't play him because he can't, finish at the free throw line. Both of them averaging, kind of 5.5, 6 rebounds. So in this day and age, obviously you like your big man to average 10 rebounds. But with the amount of
that's
threes,
tough to do in a power conference.
I was just about to say, with the amount of threes that some teams shoot and the amount of guards that have to be active on the boards defensively and offensively, if they, if that's part of their identity, you won't have many bigs that average 10, 12 rebounds. Right. So I think both of them do a good enough job, and obviously they got to get better at it. And that's where Fred and those guys obviously got to make their money is getting these guys, getting them in your system and doing what you've done over the last few years. Obviously highlighting their strengths and getting their weaknesses up to where they're not a weakness, that they're maybe more level, and then they'll be a better team.
That's the update in the front court. To the back court we go then, Jay, looking at some other guys that Nebraska has had in town. One of them by the name of Trevin Leonhardt. He's from Davis, Utah. And I know the comment that's coming next, but this is a guy that was all WAC in 25-26, all WAC tournament team this last year, and also on the all defense team. Some pretty interesting line score numbers: 12 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6 assists per game. As a 6'4", 175-pound guy is what he's listed at. That'd be pretty darn good size, I think, for a guy that would assumedly come in and handle the point guard role for Nebraska. 50% shooter overall, 37% from 3 and for his career, and 76% at the free throw line with a 78% career mark. Again, it's the mid-major level, but this is a guy that's averaged 5 assists and 6 assists over the last 2 years. That's averaged 4.5 and 5.5 rebounds per game. And that, all things considered, has taken pretty good care of the ball. Certainly more ball dominant than any point guard Nebraska's had recently, but about a 3.5-ish to 1 assist to turnover ratio as a sophomore, and then a little over 2.25 to 1 last year, with some legitimate height at the point guard position. Is a guy that Nebraska had on campus, ended up taking another visit to Arizona State, and Nebraska's in kind of a holding pattern with him as well.
Yeah, with the former St. Mary's coach going there, so ability to stay on the West Coast. But if they're able to get Trevin here, I mean, I think, having that size of point guard obviously allows you to do some different things. We've seen what Fred has been able to do in the past with a bigger ball handling guard, and obviously Sam Griesel. But it just popped just in my mind.
Okay.
Now, maybe I see what we're doing here. Because the team that Nebraska faced in the Big Ten tournament was who?
Purdue.
Over the last few seasons, Purdue has been the king.
Up there.
In the Big Ten. So, Purdue, their lineup usually comes out, and they still do well, right?
Look like they need some sunblock.
Yeah, they need some sunblock. And Nebraska may do the same. It works.
I will counter with CJ Cox and Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Mm-hmm.
I will also maybe point you up the road a little further to a Wisconsin program that has made a living looking like Nebraska.
Yeah.
But their two lead guys this year were Nick Boyd and John Black.
And they had check your head run before that.
They did. They did indeed. Nigel Hayes.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Michael Finley.
Travion Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Finley.
Yeah. So I see what we're doing, Fred. I got it.
Well, let me throw this your way then.
Trevin and Tyreek, then we got the quota in.
So Tyreek Coleman is the young man's name. Was just a freshman last year at Illinois State. 35 games, 19 starts, about 23 minutes per game. Kid's a 42% three-point shooter on the year. Averaged about a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, but double-digit points per game, score about 3 rebounds per game. For a smaller guard, 6'2", 175, not elite size necessarily, but not bad. Again, 50, 42, and 70 were the shooting splits for the Tyreek Coleman from Illinois State. How about this, though, Jay? Chevalier Emery, who goes by Ice, is another guy that Nebraska was rumored to have some interest in, and then is followed up later in the process. He'd be on his 4th school in 4 years. Started at Merrimack, went to Western Carolina, then last year was out at Cleveland State, where he was the 6th man of the year in the Horizon League. 46, 38, 78 shooting splits for him last year, 12 points, a rebound, and 2 assists per game. Obviously, the assist per game highest for Trevin Leonhardt in that mix. He was also the most consistent starter of the bunch, especially over the last couple of years. So Nebraska at least has a few interesting sort of options at that guard position between the taller Leonhardt and then the kind of shorter, more maybe ball dominant in their spurts guys in Coleman and Emery.
Yeah, I mean, and then if you can get, you'd like to get 2 of those 3, give you some flexibility. Obviously, Emery, coming off the bench, that could be something that you can have your, where we ran into troubles a little bit. Maybe Kale, too much ball handling. You saw it against Purdue. Then you can put Kale in more of a natural position. Obviously, put him at a 2 or a combination of 3, and you really expand your roster and your bench that way as well. So, I think if they can get 2 out of 3, that'd be great. Whoever it is. And then obviously, I wouldn't say the recruiting in the portal would be closed, but it'd be dang near close. If everything, because ideally, right, you'd like to get Fielder, you'd like to get Leonhardt, and then you'd probably like to get Coleman or Emery along with that. Feel pretty good about your portal class.
You would. I absolutely tend to agree. Before we go to break, Big Haas says, "Hey guys, good afternoon. Hello to you as well, Big Haas. Could not be a coach because I would never recruit a guy who has only 1 year of eligibility left. It seems like a waste of time. Granted, they may be talented, but I would prefer to recruit at least 2-year players. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Same to you, Big Haas." There's always a trade-off there.
It depends on the player, because what you don't want is a 1-year player coming in and it's all about him and he's just there to collect the check. He's not really invested in the team. You want to have 1-year players come in that have some skin in the game. I want to improve my draft stock. I want to become a better player. I want more minutes. I would have been fine if Price came in if Price is who he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. That's the kid that you want coming up 1 year. I know he has more, but just say he was on 1 year. He's going to give you everything he got. He's looking for an opportunity to play not only, minutes, but to play a different position to highlight his skills. He's a team player, team first guy, really good leader. I'll take that for a year because everything else, that's just not just 1 year. That's actually 3 years because you'll see the payoff year 2 and 3 because whoever was around him and underneath him, say he's a redshirt freshman or Frager, got to watch him. That payoff is in year 2 and year 3.
Yeah.
So those are the guys you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the mentality. It's all about the mindset coming in. I tend to agree, but that's where you have to look at the position, the role that they played on some of these other teams as well, because painting with a broad brush stroke, I would say, Jay, the 1 year guys that I would take, like you said, with skin in the game are guys that maybe had a down year the year before at a high major program that are looking for a bounce back, that are motivated to come in and work and prove, like you said, something to the NBA or to the next level.
Yeah.
Or, maybe it's a 1 year guy that's transferring up from, maybe a mid-major conference or even lower where, hey, I have to make my mark, right? And I don't think that Fred Hoiberg and his staff are ever going to recruit chuckers again, right? Guys just coming in to get theirs, but coming in with something to prove the right kind of chip on their shoulder, not the guys who are like, well, I didn't have the role I wanted at my previous school. I think I'm better than this. I think I found a coach that's going to give me free reign. I'm just going to shoot it a billion times. You can't afford those kind of 1 year guys.
No way. And he knows. I think that's what happened when he had the plan. He knew he reshaped what he was looking for, understand what type of player he needs to win here and type of player he wants to coach. So you're going to get the best version of Fred and staff, and they're going to get the best out of themselves. And it's worked like gangbusters. So you expect nothing else.
Nebraska has been more successful these last 3 years than they have the previous 4 under Fred Hoiberg because of the defense, not necessarily because of the offense. I found some numbers and some interesting kind of data viz on this sort of stuff. We're going to put that up on stream for you. Get to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, Outlet Channel 961 as well to pull that up. How can Nebraska men's basketball's offense improve? He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Orman. We'll talk about that after this on Old School.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
We hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
John just tried Renza's new Jam and Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally
What?
you know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'.
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jam and Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Renza makes it all better.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is hour one of Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Hour one of which is brought to you by the good folks over at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. All right, Jay. I'm going to give you just some trivia. I'm here not for the text line.
All right.
Fred Hoiberg has now coached 7 full seasons at Nebraska. Out of those 7 seasons, how many times has Nebraska had a higher offensive rating than defensive rating? Not in terms of raw numbers, but in terms of where they
4.
rank in the country. It's 4 times out of 7?
Rank. Yeah.
How many times has the offense been better than the defense?
I'll say 3.
Close. The answer is 2.
I was gonna say 2.
Can you guess the 2 teams that had a better offense than defense?
With the Bryce McGowan's team?
The McGowan's team was the first one. That team was the 117th in offensive rating and 178th in defense, according to Ken Pom.
And then one of the Derek Walker teams.
No, it was actually the first tournament team.
Yeah, I could see that.
That first tournament team was the number.
Derek Walker not? That's right.
He was not. That was the first year of Rink Mass.
Yeah.
Yep. That year, the Nebraska made the tournament for the first time. Per Ken Pom, they were the number 32 offense and the number 43 defense. It's interesting because I did look back at Bart Torvik and Evan Mia, my other 2 go-tos. And according to those 2 sites, Nebraska's defense actually did rate ahead of the offense, but it was within a handful of spots. Ken Palm again had Nebraska with the number 32 offense, 43 defense. The first tournament year, Torvik had Nebraska the number 30 offense, 29 defense. Evan Mia had Nebraska the number 43 offense and the number 39 defense there. But what was really striking to me is that we talked so much about how Nebraska had to lean into defense, lean into rebounding, get better on that end. Well, Fred's second team, again, one of those 7-win teams, according to the metrics, was a top 40 defense at Ken Palm, was a top 35 defense at Bart Torvik, and was a number 64 defense at Evan Mia.
Couldn't put the ball in the ocean.
179th, 179th, 189th in terms of offensive rating. It's been funny to see as well because Fred Hoiberg at Iowa State, all 5 years, his offenses were better than his defenses. And now at Nebraska, it's only happened twice. Okay, here's another little interesting tidbit before we get the real data visualization part going on here. The teams that, went as far or further than Nebraska outside of Iowa in the NCAA tournament, right? Michigan. So actually, let's go back to this year. So this year, Nebraska with Ken Palm, the number 47 offense and the number 8 defense. Okay, so obviously elite defensively. Fred Hoiberg touted that all year, and really good offensively. Number 47 out of 360 odd teams. Michigan, number 4 offense, number 1 defense. This is nationally. Purdue was the number 1 offense in the country, number 36 defense. Illinois was the number 2 offense, number 20 defense. Michigan State, the number 23 offense, and the number 13 defense. What stands out to me there, Jay, is really twofold. Outside of Nebraska and Purdue being a little lopsided, where Purdue has a 35-spot delta between offense and defense, Nebraska ends up with a 39-spot delta between offense and defense. A lot more balance, But even, Illinois, oh, look at their offense. They're so good on offense. They're still top 20 defensive team. That's a pretty high floor for them defensively. Even Michigan State, not a great offense, but they played slow enough and limited possessions and were efficient enough to be the number 23 offense, even though I don't think anyone would take Michigan State's raw personnel on offense over Nebraska's. I think you would probably take Michigan State's defensive personnel over Nebraska's, and yet Nebraska ended up with a better defensive rating. But it really stood out to me as well. If you look at conference-only stats, Nebraska goes from 47th offensively, number 8 nationally on defense. In the Big Ten only, Nebraska's offense got 6 points worse per 100 possessions, down from 119 to 113. They have the number 9 offense, middle of the pack offense in the Big Ten. And defensively, they gave up about 7 more points per 100 possessions, but they actually ended up a point and change better than Michigan in that regard. Nebraska had the number 1 defense in Big Ten only games this last season. Think about that. The Michigan juggernaut, the Michigan State thing, all those other teams that we know like to defend in the Big Ten. But it was just so glaring to me, the divide between Nebraska's offense and defense. I'm not saying Fred Hoiberg has lost his touch offensively at all. I still think he's a well-respected offensive mind. And that's why I think Husker fans should be excited for the future, because Fred's final 4 years at Iowa State featured a top 25 offense. Nebraska under Fred Hoiberg has only had a top 30 offense one time. And I'm sorry, but that first tournament team did not feel, not even top 30, right? Top 35. Right. That didn't feel like an elite, no questions asked, they're just going to slice and dice you sort of offense. And so I think Nebraska's really figured out the defensive piece. And now if they can get up to, the low 30s or even upper 20s offensively, oh, they'll really be cooking.
Yeah, and there's just, and I think if you're able to develop inside, and post, game back to the basket, I think that makes that what Fred likes to do with the, backside cuts and movements and just the overall spacing of the offense. I think it makes it that much more dangerous. I think, and then that way he doesn't have to manufacture, price going down there or whatever. And that's just, it's just an add-on, but it won't have to be, major in your game plan. So I think that'll help. Obviously, being able to break people down off the dribble, I think adds to it, because then you'll be able to get to the free throw line and so forth and so on. Excuse me. So those are probably the 2 big adjustments, and maybe, obviously he probably knows obviously better than me, but I think those 2 things will really, add some, spunk to the offense, but I think their efficiency and their ranking would increase drastically.
I got the visuals up on the screen. Shout out to College Basketball Analytics. And for those of you who are watching on stream, you get a special little treat here. you can see there in the upper right quadrant, that's the good quadrant to be in. You see Nebraska. And you see a lot of, notable names in Nebraska's neighborhood. Kansas, Tennessee, St. John's, Michigan State,
UConn.
San Diego State, Dayton, Clemson, Kentucky, all in the general kind of bubble around Nebraska. The teams further to the right than Nebraska were better offensively. But you can see there's not many teams above Nebraska on this graph when you look at the defensive rating. Okay, so then we can filter a little bit here, Jay. We can filter because this is every team in college basketball. You have Mississippi Valley State all the way down in the bottom down there, really dragging it down. So let's just look at the competition that I think Nebraska wants to put itself in now, which is, the best conferences in college basketball. So here's your Power Four, and I think you have the Big East sprinkled in here as well. The numbers don't change, just the size of the graph changes. You can see when you filter it down to just these teams, how middle of the pack Nebraska's offense looks. I mean, slightly above average, but not really all that much, because this gray line here is the average of all of these teams on both sides of the ball. So the average defensive rating is just over 104. The average offensive rating is just above 117. Nebraska's like right on that line offensively. And then we can break it down. I'll just highlight the Big Ten here even further to make it even more clear. Look at that. I mean, you see Nebraska and Michigan and Michigan State head and shoulders above the pack defensively. But you have UCLA's offense being better than Nebraska's. Indiana's maybe okay. But you see that Nebraska is as close to Washington and Northwestern offensively as it is to Michigan State and Iowa. And for Nebraska to take that next step as a program, I think there's just got to be more balance. I think there's got to be another step for this program offensively, because clearly the floor has been raised. But you can really see that between this, seeing where Nebraska ranks for the full season among Big Ten teams, which again was ninth in offensive rating, and the fact that Nebraska's offense was 6 points worse per 100 possessions. That's 2 or 3 full possessions worse over the long run, which is about a game and a half, give or take, game and 2/3 maybe, with how the Big Ten played this year. The half-court offense especially has to improve. I'm going to end up sharing this next tab because I think it's, again, kind of illustrative, because we'll switch over here in just a second for those of you on stream. You look at where Nebraska took its shots from. It's this kind of bottom middle chart. It should pop up here in just a sec for you, Jay. Yeah, the shot context. Nebraska took 86% of its field goals in the half court. And they were pretty good at it. 45% field goal percentage in the half court, 90th percentile. Last 5 games, obviously tougher competition, Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament, and 2 Iowa games in there. That percentage drops by over 2% in the half court. Over the last 10, very similar story. Nebraska did not at all get out in transition, 20th percentile in terms of the rate they were out in transition. And obviously we know they really eschewed offensive rebounding. Less than 5% of their shots came from putbacks, even though they were pretty darn good, right? Nebraska was 91st percentile in the last 5 games overall in transition. Only 54% give or take overall for the season, which isn't great. But there are avenues for Nebraska to get better, and I think find ways to have a healthier shot diet and being maybe more consistent in getting out and running in transition to help boost those offensive numbers. And then the other thing I'll point out, so I know I'm vamping here, is Nebraska really didn't generate that many threes from the corners. And I think a guy like Price Sandford is a great example of this as well, because of Price Sandford's shots here, you can see when I scroll down here, the man took 300 3-pointers this year. He took 263 from above the break, and he was elite at it, right? Good job. Keep him there. But the corner threes, a little bit closer, a little bit shorter. Pretty simple sight line for a lot of guys. He barely got a corner 3 per game for Nebraska this year. And I wonder if there are ways that Nebraska can get him more kind of exit screen looks, baseline out of bound looks that come from, the layup 3 spot, as opposed to having to do all this difficult work at the top of the key and above the break for Price Sandford to maybe get him another easy bucket or 2 per game.
Yeah, I mean, but also I think the thing you said in a couple slides before is that, you can say get out more consistently in transition. I say, no, there's got to be a point of emphasis now, but you need the personnel to do so.
You do.
But that makes Frager more dangerous. That makes secondary breaks into threes, which makes Price more dangerous. Could probably Orme as well. And then obviously whoever they get at guards along with Kale and company, that allows you to be way, way more effective offensively and obviously being able to play different ways down the stretch, right? And then obviously when you get into the Big Ten tournament, in the big tournament, you want to be multiple. And so, as efficient and how good that offense was at times this year, without transition points and an emphasis on it, because you're going to have to, what I mean by emphasizing it is because this is a team that hadn't done it on a consistent basis. So it's got to be something that you're almost forcing them to do, knowing that the payoff will be changing this down the stretch, right? So, your points per game doesn't go down by like 5 or 6. It just kind of stays real steady Eddie. And that way you can, obviously go into the tournament, win 2 games, and be right in the hunt getting into the Final Four after, that third game.
But with that profile, Nebraska probably should have been in the Elite Eight, based on the way they played against Iowa, except they weren't good enough down the stretch. But that's really where it comes down to.
Right.
If you can get better in the half court, by a possession or 2 per game, you probably find a way to beat Iowa and Iowa City. You probably find a way to be onto the Elite Eight instead of just the Sweet 16. And it's the only other thing I'll say is there's not one perfect way to build an elite offense. I pulled up Nebraska, Illinois, and Purdue just for reference. And I know it'll pop up in a second for you here, Jay. But Nebraska and Purdue really didn't generate a whole bunch of threes from the corners. And here's the thing. Purdue was the number 1 offense in the country by those 3 different sites I mentioned. Purdue has a bunch more mid-range than Nebraska does, but why were they able to do that? Elite shot creator in Braden Smith, elite shot finisher in Trey Kaufman-Wren, big guys that they can throw lobs to in some cases, but also just good old-fashioned off-the-bounce one-dribble playmaking, right? CJ Cox had the one-dribble pull-up in his bag all year long. Jakari Harris at times, and Fletcher Lawyer obviously runs into that as well. Illinois had a very similar shot chart to Nebraska. Their 3-point percentage wasn't nearly as good as Nebraska's. I mean, only about a percentage different. But Illinois, in just essentially, 1 or 2 extra games, ended up taking, another 80 more threes than Nebraska did. They generated a lot of threes from the corners. And the reason I bring that up is shots like that are for, you get the easy looks for Orm in the corner. If or when Bowden Kapke commits, can you get him some of those looks from the corners as opposed to the top of the key where there's just a little bit more going on, more responsibilities in playmaking? Nebraska's role guys, I think, can take a big step up in helping Nebraska's offense by keeping their good spacing and I think knocking down their corner threes, but that's not possible without, like you've said, guys that get paint touches, that can kick and spray on time, on target consistently, because I think Nebraska understands the value of them, but if you can't create them, you can't take them.
Yeah, you got to be very consistent as far as paint touches, but you also can't be fearful. And so, Frager could probably do it because it adds more to his game. There's other guys that could probably do it, but you want to be able to really be excellent at your guard position to make it effective, because the corner 3 is now, which it wasn't a few years ago, one of the most efficient shots you can shoot. So it's easier for guys to train and be better at that. Versus at the top of the key where people can see you. I think you sometimes can hide in the corner. But, offensively and defensively, I think they're fine. I think they just have to work on being multiple. So if you're playing against a team that's up in your grill, you have to have the skill set to be able to get downhill and make decisions, not just to get downhill, throw the ball up, and it gets sent to, the 5th row or 6th row. So that's what they probably need to look at. I mean, it's pretty amazing what they were able to do, knowing that they weren't kind of playing like everybody else. So, I think it's good data to have. And then once they apply it after they get the team, I think they can get a lot better by looking at these stats, practicing, different drills to, make that, catch up. And then also a possibility of expanding on it even after that. And you can double back on what you were doing before once that either initial fast break or secondary break is implemented, but more importantly, emphasized day in and day out.
The other, sorry, I lied, one more chart and we'll go to break here quick, is we know Nebraska was, the kind of money ball kind of offense. You see a bunch of those above the break threes again. Nebraska, about 11% more shots from that area than the rest of D1. Nebraska was pretty good at the rim, right? This is certainly some red shading over here on this left one, not elite. They're about 6% better than the average Division I team at the rim, and I don't know how that would compare, within conference and finishing and whatnot. But Nebraska was only able to take 29% of its shots at the rim. which is about 3% less than the Division I average for a team that still made it to the Sweet 16. And I think that with a dynamic playmaker, with some vertical spacing as well, like Wyman and I talked about this when it was announced that Leo Curtis was back, having him play a consistent role, if he doesn't have at least one half-court alley-oop dunk per game, it's a shortcoming because Nebraska's gotten pretty good at the horizontal spacing with the three-point line. Leo Curtis, maybe Kapke as well, depending, should be able to add some vertical spacing element that Nebraska either hasn't had or hasn't utilized the last, 4+ years.
Yeah, I mean, look, you want to have different bodies, different skill sets. And so obviously Leo, and then obviously hopefully the next young man comes in, and then Fielder, I think it adds to it. But then those are the things that you're attacking. You're looking at the facts, you're taking emotions out of it or feelings out of it, and you're looking for answers.
All right, apologize. I went off on a lot of data there. Hope you all enjoyed at least the look at it. Shout out College Basketball Analytics for that. We'll have a really short segment. We'll be back with Kevin Meyer from Myers, Cork, and Bottle for Thirsty Thursday coming up at 4.
Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot weather ahead? Get it checked now before you really need it. Call Bryant now to schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. Stay cool and comfortable with air conditioning services from Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111 to schedule your AC check. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Wrapping up hour one of Old School before we get on with Thirsty Thursday. Patio Pounders kind of day. Incredible day outside. Great day. It's always a great day to have Uncle Kevin Meyer in the studio. It was also a great day, apparently, Jay, for the Big Ten to add a postseason volleyball tournament. I don't know what I think about that.
Me either.
Good for them. More exposure, more money, more tickets, all of that. But it sounds like it'll be, per the Big Ten's release, the top 15 teams out of the 18 that will end up qualifying for the tournament. It'll be played over 5 days, 3 opening round matches, 4 second round matches, quarters, semis, and the finals will be on November 25th, right before Thanksgiving, with an off day built there into the schedule. You will not see every team you will see every team in the conference, but only once. A true round robin, a 17-game conference schedules, all that the Big Ten is going to play. 9 home, 8 road, 8 home, 9 road matches, depending on the year. I generally like it, except for the Big Ten. Think about where the eyeballs come from. From Nebraska, Wisconsin twice a year. Nebraska, Penn State twice a year. Nebraska, Minnesota twice a year back in the day. And so I get it. It simplifies things. I get where the Big Ten is coming from. I'm just not sure how this necessarily helps the conference. You know, you're hosting in a smaller arena, Fisher's Gymnasium, which makes sense, right? But did you really need to put that extra burden, wear and tear on your teams that are already national championship contenders? You don't really have issues getting teams into the bottom end of the NCAA tournament bracket because you're widely regarded as the best volleyball conference in the sport. So maybe it's trying to capitalize on that popularity and say,
that's exactly
hey, we have to do it. But I just see more ways that this could hurt the Big Ten and run them maybe out of championship contention, as opposed to, needing to sneak some more teams into the bottom end of the bracket.
When was the last time we had a Big Ten champion? Penn State?
Penn State 2 seasons ago.
And then Wisconsin before that?
Penn State, Wisconsin was pretty dominant. Nebraska's won a couple in the last decade plus.
Yeah, decade plus.
Mm-hmm.
This bodes well for Nebraska coming there battle tested. So
the Big Ten's already battle testing enough.
How many we won? We need to get over the hump. This is good for Nebraska.
Okay.
Because sometimes because I looked at it like going to Penn State and facing your nemesis and like getting over that letdown is no different than Ohio State when they beat Michigan and they played Indiana, didn't have anything. You need to get over that. You're over it. Run through the Big Ten, win the Big Ten championship. You strike fear in them. And it can help you really improve on your weaknesses, too. Because sometimes you get too familiar.
Well, and tournament plays its own beast.
Yeah, and I do understand Wisconsin twice. It does. It brings the whole whole nation into Madison or Lincoln or whatever, and obviously Penn State as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it up for maybe one time because now you got more on the line. And I'll see you in the tournament.
All right.
When I like it, because I like it, Austin, when we're playing and we're putting everything in the middle.
All chips.
0-0. Let's see how much you really want it.
Is that the Steve Stevens plan?
Nah, Steve. That's my three card poker. That means that when you get up a little bit, you save for a rainy day. But I like the pressure. I like the big game.
I'm not against it. I'm just curious to see how it works, and obviously I hope it works in Nebraska's
Just like
favor.
every new thing, it's going to be a little rocky until you figure it out.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind it being in Indianapolis, essentially just outside, kind of central. I know you've said Indy's hard to get to, and I'll take your word for it. But I think, at least for the first few years, having a permanent home, and then if you want to rotate it around the country, Chicago, Minneapolis, Vegas, LA, whatever. I mean, I still think you could play it in Lincoln. We don't want to give a true home court advantage necessarily. Nebraska, Omaha, something. Yeah. But anyways, I thought it's interesting that that's the direction that
they're trying to get something in
going.
Indianapolis like that. So
yeah,
they didn't have Big Ten Media Days this year. Maybe I don't know where it's going to be after that. Vegas, I think.
Naptown, baby. Always Naptown.
Is it going back?
Always Naptown. Keep it in Naptown.
I'm with
That's my people.
I know my man Tony didn't really appreciate Vegas.
He was not on board with it necessarily. We're on board with Thirsty Thursday, though.
Yes, we are. I can't wait.
Let's get to break.
Hey, he's bringing in his streak though. He's like Cal Ripken,
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he's been hitting home runs. He's on like a 55 game win or hit streak.
He's the new DiMaggio.
Yeah.
People are talking.
Pressure's on, Kev.
The splendid sommelier, Kevin Meyer, with us next on Old School.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
And electrical.
John just tried Runza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally...
What?
You know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'?
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rush into your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Ooh, that's different.
That was an actual bottle of beer. Nothing seems to come in bottles anymore. Everything seems to come in cans. That is a bottle of beer.
And that
is a bottle of wine.
Is a bottle of wine, which means one thing and one thing only. Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle is with us. Uncle Kev, happy Thursday to you. How are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. It's a beautiful day out there. And so per your request and or I don't know what you would call it, a suggestion, the theme today is patio pounders because it is a patio pounding kind of a beautiful day for a Thursday. And as you know, Thursday starts the weekend. So let's give this a shot. I think we're going to do the beer first, though.
Okay.
So let me pour and talk at the same time and try not to spill.
While you do that, I will tell people that you and I, Kevin, we always correspond just to make sure we're online for Thirsty Thursday, especially after we went, about a month without having to have. And I did not say I need a patio pounder today. I asked, is it going to be a patio pounder kind of day? Because you look at the weather forecast and it seems like a patio pounder. So I'm always happy to give inspiration, give ideas, but I will always, always, always defer to the expert. And I know you have your themes and your planning. So I never want to impose, my wishes or my thoughts. I just wondered if it was going to be a patio pounder sort of day.
You give me far too much credit. I don't plan much of anything, but usually around 2:30, I kind of go, I'm going to have to come up with something. So I need to figure this out awful quick. But I appreciate the kind words for sure.
All right. So starting with the beer, what we got?
We have Weihenstephaner Pilsner.
Bless you.
Yes, exactly. This is the oldest brewery in the world.
Whoa.
From Germany, of course. And this is a Pilsner, which is basically invented in Czechoslovakia, back then Czechoslovakia, now Czech Republic, because of the type of yeast. But Pilsners are lagers. And according to German purity law, you can only brew with hops, grain, water, and yeast. And that's all you can use. So it really boils beer down to its most basic denominators. And so it's all about quality, not about frills, not about adjuncts, not about adding weird stuff to make it funny and different. It's just about beer, and nothing better than a nice cold beer on the patio.
I'm already two sips in on you, Austin.
Oh, yeah.
I like this.
It's kind of classic.
Your hit streak is still alive.
All right. It's, you get a little bit of the maltiness.
Yep.
Little.
But it doesn't stay around long.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still very clean. Just, a classic beer. I almost want to just drink this out of the bottle, but then we'd have to pass the bottle around. Weihenstephaner, the world's oldest brewery and out of Bavaria, Germany. This comes in a traditional 330 milliliter bottle, which comes out to be 11.2 ounces, which will trick you because you're like, how did I drink 3 of those already? Well, they're only, 11.2 ounces. So you're missing roughly 8% of your volume. So you can have more than one, not feel guilty.
Either you know the answer to this question and we are all as impressed as we ever are, or I am able to look this up here very quickly. When was this world's oldest brewery founded?
I do not know the answer to that, but I am going to say probably in the 1600s, 1400s.
According to Weihenstephaner.de, 1040. Convenient that we are here at 1040 O Street. We are coming up on the 1,000 year anniversary, a millennia.
That is crazy.
Of brewing beer coming up, and it's still 14 years down the pike, obviously. But think about that. A millennium of beer.
Wouldn't it be, is a millennium 1,000 years?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The century would be 100.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. I was going to say,
1,000 years.
Millennium of beer.
Who was even over there then?
Well, I mean,
we can look this up.
Who was drinking? Like King Henry?
That was like 500 years before my guy Martin Luther. Think about that.
Right.
That's a great question. I'm not a big knowledge of history unless it revolves around booze, but
okay.
Yeah,
so
pretty impressive.
This would have been some kind of later era Holy Roman Empire. You had your Saxons, your Franks, your Bavarians, and your Alemanni.
Yeah.
The Bavarians. I did
that was Ragnar Lothbrok or whatever his name is, the Viking. Yeah, I like that. They called this ale back in the day then, right?
I think so, except again,
they would drink this stuff with breakfast and eggs.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And well, a lot of times too, they didn't have clean water. And so they had to, that's how fermentation essentially was invented, was because they had to have something to kill off the bacteria. So they just walked around drunk all the time. But
Whatever it takes, man.
Did sign up to go fishing with a guy in Honduras because he told me he had 40 decades of experience.
40 decades.
40 decades. And I was like, I mean, that's 400 years, man. I'm gonna have
You're
to.
pretty young for 400, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we didn't catch anything. Anyway,
Maybe were the poles 400 years old and they just all snapped in half as soon as you put them in the water.
40 decades. You can't argue with that.
You certainly can't. Well, speaking of legends, I learned today that there's something called a Southern Company Peach Bowl Challenge, a charity golf event sponsored by, yes, the Peach Bowl in college football. We got golf pairings. So far, your back-to-back winners are Mike Norvell from Florida State and his legend pairing, Urban Meyer, gone back-to-back winning this golf challenge. I'm going to read you all the pairings of these names. Tell me if there's one that you would absolutely love to golf with or absolutely hate to golf with. You have a pairing of Shane Beamer and Houston Nutt, Manny Diaz, fresh off a contract extension today, and Ted Roof, Dave Doran and Steve Spurrier, PJ Fleck and Gus Malzahn, Brent Key and Hugh Freeze, Dan Lanning and Randy Edsel, Rhett Lashley and Jeff Munkin, Pat Narduzzi and Chan Gailey, Scott Satterfield and Mac Brown, Kirby Smart and Tommy Tuberville, Davo Swinney and Jim Grobe, and Kyle Whittingham and Paul Johnson.
Definitely Dan Lanning at the top of my list, or Houston Nutt.
I was thinking for sure Houston Nutt and Kirby.
Just for the entertainment factor alone.
Yeah.
Kirby and Tuberville together.
Yeah.
Think about that one.
I don't want to hang on with Tuberville.
Yeah. Well, you got it. That's the point. You're the third.
I'll ride with Kirby.
You're sharing a cart.
Yeah.
You got 3
we'll make fun of him.
And let Tuberville talk politics on the other cart. Yeah. Now I'm thinking Houston Nutt would probably be a lot of fun to play with. And he would probably just by about the ninth hole be like, I mean, I'll ride along, guys, but you just go ahead and finish up. But Lanning, I think would be a blast. And I love his competitiveness and he just seems to enjoy life.
I'm a little surprised you didn't say Spurrier, Jay. Give him the business for 18 holes.
Yeah, I did. I give him a break though. He took that loss pretty hard. I don't want to bring up any bad memory for him.
He's kind of become lovable in his post-coaching career.
Right. Yeah,
kind of like Barry Switzer has as well.
I will say we're kind of stretching legend here. If Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze are, well, Hugh Freeze is legendary for some other things, right?
Gus Malzahn
had one legendary year. It was pretty good,
yeah.
But legend. Mac Brown, maybe.
The national championship.
He did win a natty.
Yeah, he won that natty.
Paul Johnson kept the triple option alive for a while, I guess. I don't know, though. Like, Chan Gailey.
PJ Fleck.
PJ is not in the legends category, but he was paired up with legend Gus Malzahn. I don't know if I could do that one.
Yeah, that's a pass for me.
You would have to get like a YouTube channel just to watch them.
From a distance.
Because PJ Fleck going to make sure he's going to be out there trying to look pristine.
I think he's out there trying to cheat.
His head's a golf ball.
Yeah.
His head is a golf ball.
No offense, PJ. Again, more bulletin board material.
You just got to make sure the rules got to be he can't wear a hat. Just see how red his head.
Yeah. Just light him up.
Yeah.
The Narduzzi and Chan Gailey pairing is probably like the most old school, like line up, run the ball, and first and second downs. And I guess we'll pass on third down if we have to, kind of pairing.
And they'll make you put out everything. Those two do.
Purists.
Yeah.
Purists.
Yeah. It doesn't count unless it's in. And they're finishing every hole.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like that.
I thought you guys might get a little bit of a kick out of that. I had no idea this was even a thing, but come to find out it's for charity of some sort. And yeah, Mike Norvell and Urban Meyer have gone back-to-back as champions in this event as teammates. So
I can understand why Urban's playing a lot of golf.
Yeah,
Mike Norvell, you should be no golf in your contract, brother. Where you at?
Yeah, I mean that's what. Didn't Coach Rule say you show me a good golfer, I'll show you a bad football coach?
Right. I'm not sure Mike Norvell's a terrible football coach, but coming off the couple of years they've had,
was Gus just down at Auburn?
He was.
It's been a while. He was the OC.
Well, yeah, he was at OC there with Freeze, but he was at UCF.
Okay. But then who?
And Florida
was,
State, you mentioned Florida State, remember, with Norvell.
Yeah. So who was at just Auburn just got fired?
That was Freeze, wasn't it? Or
Yeah,
you think Brian Harsin?
No, Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze.
They said Hugh Freeze, when he got fired, was playing golf. They said he played so much golf that some of the big donors were mad that he had a standing tee time on Sunday at like 9. So when they fired him, he was like on the 9th hole. He's like, I gotta go into work. Came back, finished out his 18.
Man,
he was getting his country club membership use.
Will, like, say, show me.
They're giving it to you.
Show me a great golfer. I'll show you a bad football coach.
We're showing you Lincoln's premier beer, alcohol, liquor destination, Myers Cork and Bottle. We are through the beer from the world's oldest brewery. What do we got for wine today, Kev?
We have a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand called Forest. And again, the theme is patio pounder. So this is not meant to be deep, complex. This is meant to be very easy to drink. It's also meant to be value oriented. These are on the shelf for $13. So this isn't going to be a home run. This is more of like we're going for the inside, not out of the park. It'd be more of a hustle. Like maybe a 3-base error type of a wine. But they grow Sauvignon Blanc all over the world. Obviously, it's a very French name. That's where the grape originates. It originates in the Bordeaux region and the Loire Valley region, which are both on the west side of the country. The Loire Valley is on the northwest side. The Bordeaux region is on the southwest side. And but they grow it all over the world. And this one actually comes from New Zealand, and New Zealand's divided into 2 islands. You've got the Marlborough region is the most prolific for Sauvignon Blanc, and so it is the north tip of the South Island. And excuse me, what's compelling about it though is that they grow this grape everywhere, but for some reason the wines of New Zealand have a high concentration of a compound called pyrazine, and the pyrazine is the same compound found in grapefruits, and so that's why I chose it, because it's meant to be crisp, a little bit tart. Just very clean, easy to drink. This does not see any oak at all. It's a real transformation of the flavor of the grape into the wine. But the compelling part is, like I said, no one can figure out why the Sauvignon Blancs from that region taste like grapefruits, and they don't taste like that anywhere else. So, Forest, 2022 Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc.
Drink, Forest, drink. That's what I'm saying to myself.
Yeah, there you
Something
go.
like that.
Yeah.
That one is really good. That one you pick up, if you're supposed to pick up a wine bottle and you don't have time to really look, you get that one, you at least keep your head above water.
You're showing up at a Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it's outside. I'm glad you like it, Jay.
I'm glad you like it.
He keeps his hit streak. Your new nickname might be the Hitman.
You're far too kind. But I appreciate
He's keeping his hit streak alive. You gotta give Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
He's Uncle Kev, the Hitman.
Oh yeah.
I'm not showing up to bring you garbage. I'm showing up to expand your
But
mind.
you're on a home run streak.
Well, that's greatly appreciated.
Home run.
Light, crisp. I definitely get the tart. Not something usually would expect from this, right? Usually, I mean, some of these whites you've brought recently been more like a pear kind of component to it, but I like the different kind of like crisp that kind of hits you a little different.
It's zingy, that's for sure. And you know
Is
how
that a technical term?
Yeah, that's definitely what they use in the sommelier college.
You could get hammered off of it.
You know what I like with this? With like a spicy grilled shrimp.
Yeah.
Someone in this room had shrimp tacos the other day.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, I like shrimp tacos. Give me some. I'll do some fish tacos next week or something.
Get some.
I like it. Makes me feel better when I'm eating all those tortillas.
Jay did get this question yesterday, Kevin. We'll throw it to you. Ribs. What do you put on them? How you dressing them up? How you doing your
They
ribs?
asked,
People wanted to know.
what rub do you use?
That's the specific question.
Yeah,
okay, well, I have a special rib rub that I have that has a little bit of honey in it, and sometimes I'll even add just a little bit of brown sugar, and then
told you.
Yeah, you did. I believed you.
When I'm cooking them, because you got to go low and slow, I'm also spraying it with some apple cider or apple juice.
Yep.
And then at the end, I like to wrap them just so that they, I don't like them to completely fall off the bone, but I like them to be tender enough that you can, kind of separate it.
So you don't like it when they're tenderism, Dave. You don't like when they go off the bone?
No, not like fall apart.
Fall apart. Yeah. I want to do some work.
I want to chew it.
Yeah.
I don't want to like gum it like
not melting.
I want some grizzle on there. I want to eat there like. Yeah, I want to bite the cap off on the end too. Cartilage.
I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, that's a hard pass for me. The cartilage part, but it's like eating the knuckle.
Are you a marrow broth guy?
Yeah. Well, I eat the cartilage now.
Yeah.
I eat it. I eat all that stuff on chickens and stuff.
Ooh,
I'm eating it all.
I'll get down to it and maybe gnarl it around a little bit, but I don't want it to be like I could eat it without teeth.
Well, you got a lovable furry friend to toss the rest to.
Well, that I do. Little Jim. He's a good boy.
So Kev, when you take it off and then you wrap it, do you put the meat side down with butter, honey, and some more, or what do you do? And then you put a little bit of like apple juice in there too?
I don't do the butter part.
Okay.
Because there's already a lot of fat, but I will actually wrap it and let it sit on the smoker for maybe a half hour while it's just chilling.
And then you put it back on without, right?
Sometimes depends on, timing and whatnot. Because those sugars you like them to char up a little bit. The wrap is just mostly to get it all the way down to the bone, get it soft. But I haven't done the butter. That's an idea though. But yeah, I will put it in a little bit of more apple juice.
Try half a rack with butter, half without. My dad made me a believer.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of butter. I cut it real thin. So it's just like really almost like paper thin on there. So it's not, for the calorie watchers, even though we're eating ribs by the pound.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's making me hungry.
One other thing before we get you out of here, golf related. Live. Shutting down. Because of geopolitics.
They got 4 more months.
Or they're done after Mexico City.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Supposedly the league was funded all the way through 2030. Sounds like Saudi Arabia says, nope, too much else going on. We need our cash reserves or whatever. But was Live Golf worth it?
No. Well, depends on who you are. Well, yeah, you know what? For everybody it was, except for a few guys.
Well, competition breeds fairness, I think. So the PGA had been without competition taking advantage of their players for quite some time. I mean, like you couldn't even use your own content.
Yeah.
So if you're Phil Mickelson and you wanted a
YouTube channel,
but PGA, you couldn't do that. He had to pay the PGA for his own content to broadcast it himself, like $1 million.
Yeah.
Something stupid. And so I think that bred more fairness. It also, it increased the, not just the revenue, but also the prize.
Yeah.
And so they had those elevated tournaments where, you went from, a $7 or $8, $10 million pool to 20.
Yeah. So Spotrac put that out there. Genesis Invitational, 12 mil to 20, Arnold Palmer, 12 to 20, Cadillac and Memorial, 12 to 20 as well. AT&T, 8.7 to 20, Travelers, 8.3 to 20, Truist and RBC, 8 to 20. That's an extra $80 million over 5 years.
Now, I read that Liv told everyone that they're not canceling and they're throwing a big party on, whatever on the tee on Friday or whatever. But no, whatever. It's
still TBD. Liv is still meeting, whatever. But like I said, they have money through 2030 at the very least.
Well, the crazy thing for me was the amount of money that they were putting into it. They had to be just losing left and right. Now, when you have so much money, your money is making you so much money that it might not matter. So if you're the Saudis, it's like, we're making $1 trillion a day just on the money that we already have. So we can just throw it at anything we want to. And, but ultimately I think they're going to get tired of that too. And use their money for other resources that are going to be revenue generating, not revenue cost. But I do overall think it was better for the players. Now what's going to be really interesting is, a lot of those guys are going to get lost in the shuffle, but then you've got guys like John Rahm is going to be welcome back. I don't know if Phil will be.
Phil's not going to be allowed back.
But he's already going to be a senior, so he'll be on
going there either.
DJ, I think his give a what factor is just kind of gone.
Tanked.
Yeah. He's made so much money. He really doesn't care, doesn't need to play. I don't think Patrick Reed is going to be welcome back, which good because the guy's a jerk.
But does the PGA need a villain like him back?
Yeah, maybe.
Need the figurehead for you were the key guy, and he clearly wasn't.
Cam
Like Rahm's
Smith?
likable enough.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think Sergio's gonna be welcome back. Not after that escapade at the Masters. I don't
Cam
think.
Smith, he's already like, you washed up now.
Yeah,
that was quick.
Yeah, you done. You won one major, you just cut it off and turn it. The one person I feel sorry for is the young man that Phil Mickelson recruited from Arizona State. I think he was the number one player coming out of college where he would have had a PGA Tour card.
Yeah.
He went to Live, probably signed the deal, and now the Live is going to be defunct, and now he can't come back to the PGA Tour.
He can still qualify, I think, through the Corn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, but that's hard.
That's a grind.
You're right, that's a
Yeah.
grind.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he probably has some money in his pocket, but
Yeah.
you know,
hopefully
if you
invested
think
it,
you're
right?
going over there to make a lot of money for 3 or 4 years and you're making money for 4 months, you know, and then, you know, but either way, they're really good. I mean, they've all made out like gangbusters, like Ian Poulter and Lee Westwood. When they're in that gray area, you know, you're probably not invested in getting better. You're in that mid 40s, you're waiting to get to 50, and somebody comes and pays you more than you ever made.
Triple quad.
You got to go take it.
Yeah.
Now they can go play in the European Tour though. They can go at least be European Tour members, still make some money. And that might make them more money because the big names are coming back.
It's going to be interesting to see who they bend the rules for and who they don't. I mean, it cost Brooks $5 million to come back.
John Rahm will be back.
Yeah.
That's about it. DJ he was the example of golf fitness. My man's got a dad bod now. I mean, he's been eating and drinking real good.
I think he's been doing all right for himself.
He's been he's a legend down there in Charleston.
Paulina hadn't been holding him to it.
Well,
what do you do?
Yeah, what can you do? He's bringing in money like that. So is she, probably.
I think she's doing all right for herself.
We're doing all right for ourselves, and we have Kevin Meyer in here from Thursday,
Hitman.
Meyer's Cork and Bottle. Kevin, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks as always.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Old School on the other side here, 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail. And of course, it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot weather ahead? Get it checked now before you really need it. Call Bryant now to schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. Stay cool and comfortable with air conditioning services from Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111 to schedule your AC check. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all of the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to Kevin Meyer of Myers Cork and Bottle for stopping by for Thirsty Thursday. We are still on stream with the Royals and Tigers in a rain delay. Game got pushed back by an hour with rain at the start of the game. Royals ended up taking the lead in the top of the seventh inning. 8-6 look like they are playing again. They're in the bottom of the seventh, and Detroit has cut it back to a one-run deficit. So once that is over, we will be back live in full effect on the radio. Until then, we're still here on stream. Like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961 up and rolling for you. Jay, some NBA stuff, right, with the play-in going on. Last night, the Warriors rally from a 13-point deficit with about 10 minutes to play, come back and knock the Clippers out of the playoffs. Clippers started the year off atrociously, horribly, no good, very bad. Nothing went their way. Made a good run. We're playing some pretty good basketball. Only were able to make a push to the 9 seed in the tough Western Conference, but faced a sub-500 Warriors team and found a way to lose that game at home against Golden State, who snuck in for the second time in about 5 years. Same date, about 4 years apart. Yeah. Clippers led by 13 at home with 10 minutes to play. They lose and are eliminated from the postseason in both instances, thanks to Tim Reynolds of the AP for that little call out. But we'll start with the Clippers aspect of this. You get Kawhi back. He's healthy. He's playing the better part of the year. You swap out James Harden for Darius Garland. Of course, Zubac got traded out of there around midseason or so. I give a lot of credit to Ty Lue for pulling that team off the carpet, off the mat, and getting them, into the playoff picture. But man, just another instance of the snake-bitten Clippers finding a way to lose, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, well, you got to think they had Chris Paul coming back for the farewell tour, and obviously that didn't end well. 16 games, I think, into the season. That takes a lot out of your team. I know Chris Paul is generally hard to, handle at times, but He's a legendary player. He's a Hall of Fame player. That takes away the fabric. And then on the flip side, you get one of the best and most consistent years out of Kawhi, and you're not able to extend it, past or not even in the playoffs. And so it's 4 years in a row. 3 years in a row, first round exits. And then this year, they don't even make the playoffs. And, I think, T. Lue's a great coach, but I'm sure he's on a little bit of a hot seat right now, unfortunately. And there's dynamics around it that don't set up well for him. I mean, I think he has a good staff. You got your boy Frank up there, kind of. He has a little bit of shade tree to him, but I think T. Lue has his pulse on everywhere in the organization, and I think also Ballmer is a savvy enough owner to understand that he has one of the best coaches in the NBA. Now the problem is,
and as soon as T. Lue gets fired, he's the first coach off the market.
And he's coming back to beat you almost every single time. Exactly. So I think what you have to do is figure out why are we not being successful? Because we've had talented teams, we've had talented rosters, we've had Hall of Fame players. What's the mix that we need?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to draft better? Do we need to do like free agency better? What are we doing? Because
what's the identity? Like, what are the Clippers known for? They're just trying to stockpile stars like they're the Lakers or the Knicks or whatever, and it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, and are we too focused, kind of like, the aging stars? I keep thinking about, remember when the Lakers had Karl Malone and them, and they, weren't able to get over the hump. So they're going to have some hard talks.
He didn't win that title with the Lakers.
No, he didn't. They won the next year.
Yeah, the next year.
Yeah. So and he had the whole, dust up with, Kobe and stuff. So, they have to figure out what do they need to do to get over the hump and then make some noise. I mean, because are we chasing getting through the first round, or are we chasing OKC?
Mm-hmm.
OKC is going to change when Chet's up for a new contract, I think, this year. It's going to be hard for them to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
They can, but they'll lose some pieces, kind of like Denver. So the time is kind of now. You probably have 3 more years. If you get 3 more years like this out of Kawhi, that's pretty dang good. So you better figure out what you're going to do. I mean, is Brook Lopez the answer? You kind of
no, Allen Iverson's the answer, but sorry.
I mean, you got to think you got to look at your roster and really think, okay, where can we upgrade?
Right. And it's funny you bring up
in and around Kawhi.
Yes, because Kawhi 34 right now. He'll turn 35 right after the finals. Come to find out, Kawhi and I actually share a birthday. So
congratulations.
I know. Pretty cool, right? So he'll be 35 years old. Do you see Kawhi wanting to play till he's 38? I think little differently
not at
than
this
you.
rate.
Right, not at this level. I mean, he played 65 games this year after 37 the year before, 68 back in 23-24, 52 in 22-23. So he's been not there every night, but he's played.
For him, this is a lot, and he's been great.
Right. He's played essentially 3 full seasons over the last 4 years, or just shy of 3 full seasons over the last 4 years. But this is probably an All NBA guy, Jay. I mean, 28, 6 and 4 on 50, 39, 89 splits, picking the Clippers up off the mat. But it's funny that you bring up OKC, because Los Angeles made that move to pair Leonard with Paul George, and you had no idea that he was going to develop in this.
Nobody did.
Right. Now, maybe the Clippers could have been a little more patient and said, hey, all these Kentucky guards don't get their shine in college because they're just playing with so much other one-and-done talent. We know what Calipari likes to do. You had the Devin Booker model. You had the Malik Monk model. You had obviously the Jamal Murray model, among others, right? Maxey and Quickly a little bit later down the line as well. So it's hard to say that, the Clippers were wrong for doing that. Like, they didn't see anyone saw SGA blossoming into this level of, Jordan-esque offensive engine in the modern era. But man, can you imagine if you had SGA with Kawhi Leonard and could have avoided the Paul George saga and built around him that way? Again, hindsight's 2020, but it's not like the Clippers are that far off. They're just not that close either.
Yeah, they're probably farther off than close. Just when you look at it, when you look at their, like the Chris Dunns and all that. I mean, you're definitely, when you look at OKC, essentially Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of whoever's with him right now. So that's why these conversations with T. Lue in management are intense. What are we going to do? what do you need as a coach?
Mhm.
What do we have to do to facilitate that? Because what we have going on right now is not good enough. Darius Garland, I like.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Good, slightly injury prone,
right.
small, but
so
good.
But let's just hope for the best.
Can he be Kyrie light?
Right. So okay. So we got him and Kawhi.
Okay. Chris Dunn moonlighting as Matthew Dellavedova.
That's great.
Potentially.
But we need another 2 or 3.
But where's Richard Jefferson?
Right.
Where's Channing Frye? You don't have a prime Kevin Love. Like, I'm sorry, I like Brooke Lopez, but no. I mean, you could have had Zubac as, souped up Tristan Thompson.
Yeah. I
we
mean,
traded him out of there.
So that's where these conversations are intense, because T. Lue's like, hey, look, man, I mean, this isn't the team that we thought we were going to have, and it's not working out well for us. And I can't produce the type of wins that you want without the roster that I need.
Right.
What are you guys going to do? Well, then they're asking, well, what are you going to do better with any roster that we give you? You have Kawhi, you have Garland, and you're okay with Lopez and all those guys, and see if you run it back. But what are you going to do better as a coach? And so that's why you're kind of going back and forth, but you're trying to fact find, because they need some answers. And
which you've been saying for the last 10 years.
5 years, and even all the way back to the bubble. So they haven't been able to reach their potential. A lot of it's been out of their control. Some of it's been in their control. I think the biggest thing is not just about Kawhi. I think Kawhi and Paul George were so hell-bent on not playing with LeBron, they've actually set themselves up for failure. And the failure is having one of the all-time greats during this era in Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, not get out of the first round. With the likes of James Harden on your team, with SGA just around for a little bit, but we brought in Paul George, so it really wasn't the same. But they always look at what you gave up.
Yeah. Now
we gave up a lot for Paul George and thought he was going to be the Batman and Robin. He's in Philly, just got busted for steroids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you
PED
Paul, right? You thought that you fleeced him for Zubac. He's not here.
Nope.
Or fleeced the Lakers. Like, we got you. Yeah. We just take him out of your locker room and put him in ours. He's not even around. Nope. And was a really solid player for him. And so they have to get back to what they were able to do when they were somewhat successful and look like a better team in franchise. And who does that is going to probably be the biggest conversations right now. And then what they're going to do moving forward. So, and then on the black cloud over the franchise is the whole $28 million with Kawhi Leonard and what Ballmer did and all that, and what
aspiration and
Kawhi's uncle and all that stuff. So all these things start to come to the surface when you don't get out the first round and you don't make the playoffs. Kawhi did his thing. I'm going to play so good they can't talk about that. Well, he played so good they didn't talk about it, but we didn't perform well enough. Now we're going to probably rehash everything again, and now it's going to be even longer offseason for the Clippers.
Anything on the Warriors? Obviously, a good, nice comeback for them, but to me, it kind of feels like a last gasp.
Yeah, that was. I was about to say that. That's that last little. Okay, this is like a little glimpse what we used to see on a nightly basis, and how they were as a team. You saw Draymond lock in. Draymond come off a little bit banged up, tweaked, really shut Kawhi down, and then you just saw Steph Curry. On that reverse, he went a little dribble handoff, reverse back, sidestep, fadeaway three, eyeball. So, Chef Curry is still in the building. And so I think with the Warriors, it's, something that, people can just legendary game by both the last two.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's why they're legends.
Portland ends up beating Phoenix. So it'll be Portland and San Antonio in the first round. Phoenix versus then Golden State for the right to take on Oklahoma City. Then, Jay, over in the East, I want to talk about Charlotte a minute. You have the first teammate duo to lead the NBA in made threes since Stephen and Clay in my guy, Milwaukee, Wisconsin finest, Con Knipple, and LaMelo Ball. Got slapped with $60,000 in fines and a flagrant for, shall we say, the hijinks. But that aside, Charlotte was at least fun this year. Exciting offense, picked themselves up off the mat. Little chippy, right? Little edge, team that fit together, played a fun style of basketball. What does it mean for the town and city of Charlotte when the Hornets are at least interesting?
Yeah, I mean, they've had great attendance all year, to the point that we're, when I'm back there, I usually like to go take a game, and you're not able to get in there. So it's a huge for the city of Charlotte. Once they kind of got over the Miles Bridges thing and really got focused, and you got LaMelo Ball, I think Knipple really is been their best draft pick. Brandon Miller is showing a little bit more life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those things with the Panthers doing well, making the playoffs. Charlotte, I think, exceeded expectations this year. They're a little bit more tougher. They're fun to watch. You got LaMelo Ball, as long as he's not driving.
He can drive with the basketball in his hands, just not on the streets, please.
Yeah, not on the streets.
He's a menace. Stay away.
And also, what else they did? I know he's a North Carolina Tar Heel, but they've gotten some good minutes out of Kobe White.
Yeah,
really good minutes, and he was a really good player coming out of college. So, you're getting some homegrown guys back there. It's always a good feeling, and so it's always good for the city of Charlotte.
Philly takes down Orlando. They advance to play two-seeded Boston in the best of 7.
That's the most disappointing team.
They won 45 games. It did not feel like it for a second.
You remember that they were on the cusp of being dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Black took a little bit of a leap.
They just don't. This was a down year for them.
Which, okay, first year you're working Des Bane into the rotation, but Wagner's got to remember how to shoot. My boy P5's got to get more efficient.
You thought this was going to be the year they might make a move. When you get Bane, you get a veteran guy, a tough guy, good leader that's going to bring that serious veteran edge.
Played quality minutes for quality Memphis teams.
And then nothing.
Yeah.
And it was just, like you said, 145 games, but doesn't even feel like it. And so that's a young team. Even Bane's pretty much young. It's a team I think you want to keep it together. I like it. With Suggs, Bane, Wagner. I like it. Wendell Carter, and then obviously your boy PB. I like that starting lineup, man.
It's interesting. It's funky. Mm-hmm.
And they got guys on the bench. It's just.
But here's the other part of it, though. It seems like a lot of, Des Bane maybe trying to fit in a little bit. Suggs, I think, is interesting, but, has had his moments, good and bad, in the NBA. Anthony Black growing into a role. Paolo Banchero still not overly efficient. But then the coaching. I like Jamal Mosley. He brought a lot out of that group over the last couple of years. But all the reports, Jay, have been Orlando just gave up on the season. Like 3 weeks ago. There's just been so much drama in that locker room. I like Mosley, but if he can't keep it together and get the most out of that bunch, I think that's another guy that can take the Kenny Atkinson path, for example, and be a good head coach somewhere. But they might just need a new voice. And I hate to say that.
Yeah, you hate to say either that or they need to get another veteran, whether it's the first guy off the bench. They need kind of like a two-pronged attack to get these young guys kind of focused. Because you got to think, this is a relatively young team. Right?
Yeah.
They're a really young team. You get some stardom. There's, you get a little bit more fame in a big city like Orlando. You can lose distraction or get distracted really, really fast.
Let's go ahead and go to break here. We have a comment from YouTube and a comment on our Starter Human Jewelers live text stream. We will do that to round out hour 2, full hour 3 of Old School on the way.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 5 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot weather ahead? Get it checked now before you really need it. Call Bryant now to schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. Stay cool and comfortable with air conditioning services from Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111 to schedule your AC check. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back in to Old School, brought to you by the great folks over at Graham Tire Company. Don't forget, they're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. A couple NBA things, Jay, from our listening audience. We'll go ahead and start on YouTube. Bada Bing asks, do you have any dark horses to win the East and the West? I would assume outside of your top two, which would be out west, OKC, San Antonio, and out east, Detroit and Boston.
I would say Cleveland or New York in the East.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Spider and company start getting going. You know, Kenny, I like Atkins. I like him a lot. New York, just because, you know, Brunson and Cat and
game slows down. You can give Brunson the ball, and
Brown is, you know, pretty good coach. The West, besides San Antonio and OKC, ooh, that's tough.
We can loop this in here as well, because Gus Mohawk wants to know how far his Lakers can go in the playoffs down Reeves and Luka.
If Kendrick Perkins said if LeBron James is able to win this first series, without either one of those two, the GOAT conversation is over at 41 years old. That might have been emotion talking, but I think that lets you know how tall of a task that would be. I would say
against a good, not great Houston team.
Yeah, but still.
They're really good.
He's 41 years
41.
old. Yeah, and you don't have any of your co-partners with you. I would probably say my dark horse would be my Timberwolves or the Nuggets.
Winner of that series can make a run?
Yeah, winner of that series can make their run. They both have a unstoppable force. They both can play, or at least the Timberwolves, they can do some things defensively to slow you down.
When Ant-Man's locked in,
right, when Ant-Man is focused and McDaniels is hitting and playing to his potential, they're tough.
Mm-hmm.
And Conley and company are playing.
They're only sixth because of how good the West is,
right.
really.
And then up there in Denver, you got Joker,
Mm-hmm.
Bloodline, and Gordon. And Bloodline is playing like he should this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're tough.
Yeah.
So I think either whoever wins that series could definitely make a run and win it.
Well, and that's where I think if you're San Antonio, you did yourself no favors in dropping that final game, because you could have had the Lakers on your side of the bracket. But instead, you lose, Denver wins, they hop up into the 3 by virtue of head-to-head. And now, if you're San Antonio, you got to go through the best player of the last 5 years in Nikola Jokic, and the guy that's right there with him neck and neck, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if you want to make it all the way through to the finals. And that's where I think it's kind of hard for me to want to pick a dark horse, Jay, because all those every team has flaws, every team's beatable, but I haven't seen anything from the injured Lakers. With Van Vliet down for Houston, they're just missing something.
Never was out of
Cleveland. I like what you're saying, but I don't know if I completely
I don't trust them.
buy. They still have some scars. I don't trust the Knicks necessarily.
Cat, nope.
Right. And, do you really want to bank on Charlotte making a run? Do you want to bank on anything like, Philly making a run?
Nope.
Absolutely not. And dare I say, the dark horse to me to win the title is Detroit. We know what OKC is. We know that the Spurs have
we know what the Celtics are.
The next best player. The Celtics didn't really reinvent themselves, but doubled down on what they were doing and kind of shocked the world in a lot of ways. Their head coach is a psycho. They've been there, done that before. I don't think Detroit has quite enough juice to get it done in the half court, kind of like we were talking about with Nebraska, but almost the inverse problem. Detroit doesn't take and make enough threes to keep pace with Boston necessarily the longer that series goes.
Right.
But I think Cade's a killer. And I think if he can get going, I think Duran can be a force on the inside. They didn't win 60 games by accident, even in an okay.
And they got a little edge to them.
They did a little bit edge to them. They got some edge to them. Beef Stew will fight. Duran will fight. Cade's not going to get punked.
Yeah.
So, I think your champion, like all but 2 of the last 50 years, will come from those top 3 seeds. If it comes from outside the top 4 seeds, the only way I'm surprised is if it's Detroit.
Yeah. Detroit. They have a realistic chance, especially if they get hot, and then obviously their physicality can really slow teams down.
Yeah.
And kind of, intimidate them before they start playing. So it'll be interesting to see this Denver-Minnesota series.
That's a bunch of Iowa people walking by.
Yeah. Is it track?
Must be.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is Iowa good at track?
Hope not.
They're going to get the brace beat off them anyway.
Not as good as Nebraska.
Yeah.
So stay away, Iowa people, but we will put on a brave face and smile if you do walk into the mill. Doesn't seem like they are. All right. High school transfer portal. Commissioner Foreman.
How to get it done, man. How to get it done. It's a hard look, man. And we're in summer basketball right now. They've had a couple of tournaments, right? In spring or summer. The portal for kids that are gotten their feelings hurt is open right now. How to deal with that, how to navigate that, what to look for in a club coach, travel coach, whatever you want to call them, high school coach, how to navigate it. And then also how to navigate, when you're up there in the Metro or Omaha area or Lincoln and kids are leaving, how do you, what does that do to the local kids? And that's what nobody ever talks about is, there's they're plucking kids from Lincoln going up, they're driving 500 miles a week to go to school.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't say nobody's talking about it because guess what? Commissioner Foreman's talking about it.
That's right.
When we get back to old school, brought to you by Graham Tire.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot weather ahead? Get it checked now before you really need it. Call Bryant now to schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. Stay cool and comfortable with air conditioning services from Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111 to schedule your AC check. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, live in effect, 1040 O Street, but we are on the stream. We are brought to you by Graham Tire, 75 years of taking care of all our great people in the Midwest. 4 locations here in Lincoln. All your tire needs and also any car or truck need as well. Graham Tire Lincoln, look them up. Get over there today. Great service, great prices, and great people. Pretty quick day here on this has probably been the top 10 days so far of the year. Will be even after, because once it gets up to 100, it's debatable whether those are top 10 days. The wind is low, so we could fire up the grill if we want. But we want to thank Kevin Meyer Cork and Bottle, stopping in, keeping his hits going. The Hitman, Uncle Kev, the Hitman, Meyer, 13th and South, Myers Cork and Bottle. Check them out as well. We talked about a plethora of things. Now we got into it a little bit yesterday. We'll get into a full max today. Obviously, there's been some transfers that are going to continue to move along from all over the metro and heck, even all over the state of Nebraska. Seems to be up to Miller South and or Omaha West Side, and it's just part of high school, college sports. I think everybody wants to be older. Everybody wants to be competitive. I think that the way that Millard South went about it last year is no different than the way it's been in the years before, except for they were just kind of, these are the rules. We're playing by the rules. We're going to, come one, come all. It didn't really bode well when you had, obviously, Lincoln High didn't, physically didn't have enough players to play. They had some injuries. You had it when I think they played, it was either Burke or one of the Metro teams had to cancel because they didn't have enough kids.
Yeah.
And so that's where, things get a little dicey. But, that's where we're at. And we talked about it extensively. Like if, a kid wants to go play college sports, whatever sport it would be, it's no different if, Austin, you lived in Seward and you're a pretty good baseball player and you transfer into Lincoln to go to Lincoln East, or you go from Lincoln High to
you about described my life there
to play baseball. You almost did.
Well, my dad teaches at Seward.
Yeah.
So I lived about, I used to live in the Highlands. Now we're north, and I was a pretty good baseball player.
Right.
So it's like, me or something.
Right. And you would, if you wanted to really take it that, you want to go and play for Atlantic and, be trained and obviously developed a chance to, be ready and have a path, set forth with you and your family to try to get to your goals. There's nothing wrong with that. There's so many moving parts to it. What is Omaha doing and what have they been doing to kind of catch up to Lincoln? Because Lincoln used to be dominant in football, very competitive, and I wouldn't say dominant in basketball, but used to be a little bit more competitive overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that you have to look at and address. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You can be stuck in your ways. You can make adjustments because when you walk around Lincoln and go to, whether you go to State Track or whether you go to walk around all these high schools, you got some guys that can play some football, and you got to make it appealing for them. I think you have to start at the youth level, try to really, have the relationships with the youth coaches, football wise. And obviously you don't have middle school football, but you have to have some sort of relationship by the time they step foot on your campus as a ninth grader, that you have a standard and a program set that's going to be advantageous for you, their parents, and obviously the coaches and the team.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have that set, you're off to the races. Now it's easier said than done because I'm sure there's some red tape that I have no idea what it is, but you have to really find a way to get to the right people and get maybe some of that red tape taken away. So you can really, so you can do some of the things that, which is a everyday thing up in Omaha. I think you have to create an atmosphere that's competitive and appealing to stay here. and play at your school. I know it's a thankless job to be a coach, a high school coach. A lot of them are teachers, and then there's more hours to go along with it. So it's another job on that. It's not easy.
Did you think that? I mean, I know you've mentioned, no names, obviously, but I'm sure we can all, point to coaches we've seen this from on both the positive and the negative. But you mentioned that it is a thankless job, which to some degree is absolutely true. Do you think that because of the work that goes into it, and because of the grind, the grit that it takes just to show up every day, do you think that's why maybe we see high school coaches get egos? No one else is thanking me. I have to thank myself. No one else is, doing what I'm doing. And so, someone's got to pat me on the back. So it may as well be me.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of that. There's a lot of, you get a little bit of arrogant or cocky because, number one, in Lincoln, you're blessed enough. A lot of schools are almost either they're closed or almost closed. So, you're going to, you don't have to really scratch to field a team. Right. I mean, I think Lincoln's numbers, aren't what the other ones, but I'm just saying, that's where you can get some of that from. I think they get enough pats on the back that I don't think you have to do it yourself. But I think when you get comfortable and you feel like you're insulated, you can kind of do whatever you want. And then you could get, when you go from confidence to cocky to get arrogant. And then that's where you can run into some problems. And, I think that also where, what people have to understand is that the best way to look or to understand where your son or daughter should go to high school to play sports is there's several things you should do. You need to go watch yourself and converse. That means your kid would probably put down their phone. Adults do, but watch, right? Don't wear any like school paraphernalia. Just watch, right? Don't wear any like Lincoln Lutheran clothes. Just go in there. Just don't go in there and brand. Just go watch. You have to talk to players that have played there presently or played there in the past and also presently, parents included. You have to look at the style, how they play. You got to look at how they coach. You have to look at their staff. You have to get on and do the research. Do they coach summer ball? In this case, we're talking about basketball. Do they coach 7-on-7? Have they coached like Lincoln youth football? Since we're talking about here. What type of offenses do they like to run? And who do they play that somewhat has your skill set? Now, look, this is not NFL or college that you're not going to have a certain type of player, but there are these coaches out there that have a certain type of play or players that they like to play, and they will risk losing versus finding a way to win because, like I said in the very beginning, they are comfortable. They have job security. I've never been in. I know when my high school coach, they would fire you if some of the stuff that happened around here would be gone, straight up. I remember my eighth grade year going into ninth grade. Eden Prairie's high school coach got fired. I hadn't been there yet. They had this thing where you go to orientation, hey, welcome, whatever, you're coming here or whatever. And, you're thinking the head coach is going to be there. You don't know anything. And, Eden Prairie was struggling. But, look, that's where I lived. That's where I was going to go. We had a good little class coming in. That coach got fired. He was abusive to some of the players, and he was up out of there. Now, you hit it out of the park when you got Mike Grant, and he's still there right now. He's probably he's a legendary high school coach. Obviously, his dad's Bud Grant. He was my high school coach, great friend, mentor. A lot of my coaching ideas come from him, but he's been there forever. He's probably the best high school coach ever in Minnesota. He's been recognized nationally for what he's been able to do with Eden Prairie High School. But you have to understand, when you're trying to pick a high school, you got to kind of look at all that type of stuff.
Which can be hard to do if you don't know what you're looking for. If you don't know which is why I appreciate you having this segment. If you don't know what questions to ask, if it's your first kid. Yeah. If you're moving from someplace more rural where there's only one option versus into a city, maybe mom or dad got a new job and you're going through it for the first time. And the simple thing to do that I think most would do, and I'm not saying to say it's wrong by any stretch of the imagination, is just go to the one that's close, the one that you can walk to. It's a 5-minute drive to, take the bus to, the popular one, whatever. But like you said, it's open enrollment. But is it? Sometimes, with how close it seems, with how close to capacity some of these schools are, So then it's, do you take a chance on a newer school? Do you go to, Old Faithful? Can you find a way to sneak into the it school for whatever, sport or activity it is that you want to do? It's not as straightforward as, this is the district you live in. This is where you go to school
not
anymore.
anymore.
It hasn't been for a while.
Yeah, not anymore, man. And it's getting. I don't know if I want to like describe it as getting worse, but it's
just different.
It's getting a lot more. In some ways, it's getting worse. I mean, there's, they'll make room for kids that they really want to be a part of the program and stuff like that. So they'll find a way to get you in, or they'll find a way to kind of move you out of there as well. So yeah, you don't know who to ask, but I think if you're involved with a program, say you're playing, fall and winter basketball, that's a whole nother dynamic that now, what I've seen is bled into high school sports. That means you're scratching each other's back. You're kind of getting kids placed from high school teams on summer teams, and then on conversely, you're playing guys that have played in those, like, for those club teams. So now the whole thing of, I played with a kid named Scoop Wallace, right? He was a great basketball and football player. He couldn't play, in this case, club summer basketball. He had to work. But he was one of our starting five on basketball come winter, and was our starting cornerback during the fall. Right? So if I think about a kid like that, and there's probably plenty of them around here, that aren't involved in spring and summer basketball, that are better than some of the kids that are actually playing and starting.
Yeah.
And it's not even about, it's opportunity based, right? And so,
opportunity based, but also circumstances,
right? And so that's where, it can really, put a damper in some of these kids' futures, because, I don't think, obviously it's not, I'm never for people like quitting and not doing it, but these kids these days with adversity, and there's no communication now. Right. And so if you're, I wouldn't say holding a kid back, if you're not starting them, there's no communication, you're just doing it because you have no accountability.
Right.
Right. And so there's a lot of kids that are walking around here like, man, I bet you, plays X sport, you could do this. And like, no, doesn't play. Stop playing early. Right. Had a bad experience. And sometimes, these, younger generations, they view bad experiences, you're getting benched or you're getting yelled at and all that stuff. Yeah, that's not right. But when if it crosses the line, these kids are smart enough and they know. I talked about yesterday, the biggest thing that I learned in coaching, all these kids around Lincoln that are seniors now, some that are already in college, but now the high school seniors were the ones that I really focused on, and a couple of younger ones, is that these kids are very receptive, and they see things and they take score. Right. And it's a good thing, because it made me kind of like view coaching different.
Oh, yeah.
How I had to approach kids. I had to learn about the kids. I had to know the kids. I had to look at the parents. I had to reach out to the parents and figure out how I can coach so-and-so versus so-and-so, and try to create a relationship with them and support them outside of the sport that I was coaching in, which in this case was basketball.
Which you were willing to do. Not every coach is.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. Like, I get it, right? These coaches are people too.
Right.
But
they got stuff to do. They got families and stuff. Yeah.
But part of being a coach is signing up for that, right? It's the above and beyond that is just kind of baked into the nature of these best coaches, right? I might have you for 2 years, might have you for 4 years, whatever it is. But, I think back to coaches I had throughout my life. I mean, they're always going to be coached to me. I know I'm a grown man now, but they're still coach.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, not just because what they did on the court or on the field for.
Yeah, like one of my high school coaches named Mike Tobin, and he played at, I think, Morehead State, Minnesota, was one of their better players. Coached me through a couple years in high school. Another coach I had was named Juan Mitchell. He always used to tell us he made All-American over Scottie Pippen. You know what I'm saying? But Juan Mitchell could play. And we would talk a lot, he was helping me through the basketball process. But like Mike Tobin, he was coaching at a 4 or 5A school down in Georgia. He just retired.
Oh, wow.
Just retired. And then he went into the high school coaching Hall of Fame in Minnesota this last weekend. So, but the thing that they used to do, I remember, is just that I remember being a sophomore or freshman on varsity and having, coaches when they come through the practice and coach in this case, Coach Tobin, his biggest pride was making sure the guys that wanted to had a place to play. After, right? After. Not, I mean, because he was like, hey, Jay, I know you could go play basketball or football. I got to get these other guys a place. Like, we had Jamel Thomas that ended up playing at North Dakota State, right? You had different guys. We had Jason Cruz that played at Wisconsin Green Bay. We had all that type of stuff. We had Quincy Lewis that went to a school down in Georgia. He was making sure those days are over.
The guys that wanted to go somewhere got somewhere.
The pride of getting you to where you need to want to, picking up the phone and
making calls, not just taking calls.
Right. And actually going to bat for your players and all that. Them days are over.
Which
is crazy. The view, and this is not every coach. I'm gonna keep saying that. This is more of a, now they feel like you play for me, I control you. You play for me. And sure, when you go to a high school, and this is what these kids need to understand, right? If you're expecting your high school coach to develop you to get to him to, now there's some to develop you to get to the next level. It's going to be all about you. It's not going to happen. Now, they should be able to take your skill set in their system and get the best out of you. That's going to be the best for your team. Doesn't matter. One year you might go like Baugh over at Southwest, small. Next year you might have some more height, so you have to play a little bit different. You still have your principles, your foundation. It has to be year in and year out, because you want to know why it has to be year in and year out. Because you're not running a program. You're not developing kids from 6th grade on up.
Right.
You're not having camps from 4th grade on up and developing and running. You're not having a coach's clinic from the 3rd grade coach to the, let's say, 8th grade, 9th grade coach, as far as club. So they're running your sets and your offense. That's what Mike Grant does. You go to 3rd grade, like Eden Prairie Football League, all the way until they get into high school. They're running now. They're not running the full playbook. They're running it. Now you could put your little sprinkle on there, but his hands or his fingerprints on it are on everything, and so are the assistant coaches. And that's the difference. And that's what difference between at this point maybe the Metro and Lincoln.
And that's interesting to keep in mind as well, because there are plenty of coaches in Lincoln who have been at their post a long time.
Right.
They've had the opportunity to set this up. And I wonder how many of them have even considered making it a true program versus just, nope, I get these kids for my 4 years or whatever. How many of them, were open-minded about it and were shut down versus how many never had the thought. We're content to keep doing, exactly what it was that they were doing, because I don't want to, take anyone to task for, having not done it if it was out of their control. But that's where I want to give, to your point, more credit to the guys like Coach Grant who saw that opportunity. It's also interesting too, Jay, because there's always movement in coaching, but I would like to do a study, or find some numbers in terms of the volatility in terms of job turnover for some of these key jobs at key programs, because I think that there's enough talent in Lincoln that some coaches should be getting noticed to go coach somewhere else. But with the whole, LPS deal of it's highly recommended you're at least in the system or be a teacher, that doesn't necessarily leave a whole lot of room for career advancement when to be a career coach and to take that next step from, say Lincoln East up to the next level, unless you're going to uproot your whole family, your whole life. Because like you said, it's a side gig, versus it being, it's hard to be a careir high school coach. I'm sure you have to have something else on the side, but it's different if you're, working a, part-time gig in sales or whatever, generic sales job, and high school coaching. That's your focus. You're doing sales to support it. And then, oh, hey, this guy's getting hired by a D2 school. They really liked his work. He built a program. So he takes the next step versus, hey, we're just in place and you're here because you're a teacher, but you're not really going to get looks to move up because, well, you're tethered here because of what your day job is. And we're asking you to do this other highly time-consuming thing on the side.
Right, yeah. And you got to be careful, because you want to make sure you have a guy that, that you're within the guardrails, right? So I think, obviously, generally, you got to be an LPS employee. Now, they can give you a special exemption, right? And that's kind of not known, but they can do it, right? So then now it points back to the people that are doing the hiring. Why haven't you really, went outside your normal to do so? So there is options there. It hasn't been exercised very often, but they can exercise it. Now, also, I think one of the biggest things is that separates, some coaches, and maybe they have more longevity, is how they treat the kids, which is obviously a big deal now with mental health and all that other stuff, right? And so that's where, as a coach, that's why you have to know the players and know what makes them tick, know what motivates them, know how to, I guess, hold them accountable, discipline, or whatever you want to call it. Because if you don't, you could be opening up a whole ball of wax that you might not be ready for. But then that's why it's probably, I think, you have an LPS employee, because then you're kind of right along the lines on how you're in your classroom.
Yeah.
Now, that's debatable if that's, people understand that, but but versus say, like, if I went and did it, I'm not an LPS employee, I would have to make sure I know the handbook so I don't really overstep a boundary that I wouldn't know every single day. That's a learning process, but that's a risk that you have to be willing to make if you're trying to be competitive. It'd be really cool to see a school that really takes the challenge and say, you know what, we're going to be the football school in Lincoln. Basketball is always going to be spread out because they do recruit around here. They say they don't, they do. There's a couple coaches that recruit do it, and they do it covert.
Aggressively, but covertly.
Yeah, covert and aggressively. They're recruiting right now. I know some players that they were calling during the season. And as they move towards the next season, you can tell it. So
let me ask you this then, Jay. Would it be easier for an established program to start kind of a feeder program, and say, hey, we're going to build this from the ground up? Or would it be easier for one of the newer schools that says, hey, we want to get good at this, and we understand that we have to lay the foundation, and that's how we're going to build our track record?
It might be easier for, I don't know. It might be,
different, but equal challenge.
Yeah. A new one might be easier because you're just starting new. Everybody's excited. You don't have any, you don't have any track record. Everybody would probably want to help, obviously. So that might be a little bit easier.
But then also you don't have any track record, so who's going to buy in?
You don't have any support. And so you got to be willing to go through the grind there. It might be easier if you're just kind of already established, like a name where people could go and you've done something in the recent, history of doing it in that sport to build a program. But I think building a program, one, it can start from winning, but it's how you win and how you coach. You can be a winning program and a winning coach and be a terrible person, and you won't. And you
don't say.
and you won't. You won't be able to build a program because if you're a terrible person, and terrible person might be too harsh, but if you're not trustworthy,
if you're not about the right thing,
if you're not trustworthy, you won't put in the effort to do it because you'll just focus on your next year's senior or varsity or whatever it has be, because you have kids walking through the door. I remember talking to Coach Grant, maybe when I was in my third or fourth year in the NFL, and I was like, man, I was telling him, man, remember when my senior year, man, we had 48 kids out. He was like, yeah, now we got 148. So when he came to Eden Prairie was the homecoming team. That means teams were trying to get you on there for homecoming. And he rolled in that first year. What he did was he came in and he breathed so much confidence in us. He's like, we can be good. We will be good. It's going to be hard, but football's hard. We're going to do the work and we're going to win. That was it. He said, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to perfect what we need to perfect. And then next thing you know, the first year I wasn't a senior. I was like a sophomore, I think. A couple guys went they were big kids, really weren't getting looked. They go, Division II, NAIA schools. Here comes Jay Foreman. Here comes Leroy McFadden. Here comes Jason Kapsner. Here goes Willie Mobley. Here goes Mark LaVore. And we're talking about Notre Dame, Ohio State, Nebraska, Michigan State. And then, then later on, there's J.D. Spellman. They got 6 dudes up there that are so then it became the place to be. So,
and now I hate to break it to you, the run's over because Minnetonka beat them this year, but it was just a blip. We'll see.
They did. But that's why we're talking about it, though. It made what? Minnetonka level up, who was the doormat. Minnetonka had to fire their coaches. And I'm not here to say fire any coach. They had to get a coach in there that was willing to compete. Now it makes Hopkins, who was dominant back in the day, they're going to have to get back up on it, right? So then now Wayzata have been on a run. It made Lakeville now have to adjust because now they have 2 high schools. Now you got Totino Grace that is a byproduct of Lakeville, kind of like here in Norris. You got to step your game up, Jack.
Or else.
because there's more kids on walking the face of the earth. There's more athletes now. There's more training now.
Mm-hmm.
So the excuses become less and less and less because everybody has big rosters. Everybody has big guys. It's like we talked about Class A football, Class B football here. There's not much big difference now. Look at Waverly.
Yeah.
They were lining up and beating the brakes off you. Look at Bennington.
Yeah.
They were lining up, beating the brakes off
Scott
you.
sometimes.
Lining up, beating. Then they were passing on you. One year they're running you over. The next year they're passing on you. Then you look at, obviously, West Side were doing their thing. Before that, you had Bellevue West. And then now you have Millard South. And then if you go out there to Kearney on like a Thursday, Friday night, them dudes, hey,
don't get caught slipping.
Yeah, you get caught slipping. That's a long ride home, too. So I think, how to navigate this thing with the portal, which we'll get into the next segment, these juniors and seniors, where they're at right now for basketball, it's a tricky time because what's been sold to them won't be the reality. So we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll talk about how the portal affects high school kids, obviously in the present and moving forward. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to power your progress, so you can give everything you've got, all for just 1 cent down. Whether you want to get the most out of our best-in-class equipment or go all in with free fitness training, our trainers are ready to help you get stronger than ever before. Take your workout to the next level at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal extended to April 16th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Here at the Nebraska Lottery, we love introducing new games, and our latest is truly 1 in a million. It's a new lotto game called Millionaire for Life, and it's the kind of game you dream about. The top prize is $1 million a year for life, with a second prize of $100,000 a year for life. Tickets are $5 with drawings every day. So visit your favorite Nebraska Lottery retailer and play Millionaire for Life today and start dreaming big again. Millionaire for Life. Top prize odds 1 in 22 million.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, second segment on this beautiful Thursday. Old School, the new school way. I want to give a shout out to Pete Ferguson, man. Doing some big things out there. Got the mayor from Georgia in town. He's been in town almost all week, and we've had good weather. We're glad he didn't come in about 2 months ago. When it was 90 the first day and 30 the next day. So appreciate people coming in, experiencing Lincoln, experiencing what's going on down here at 93.7 The Ticket.
Experiencing Old School, of course.
Yeah, Old School is, of course, and obviously all the great things we're doing here with The Ticket and Old School. But the portal and how does it affect high school kids and how does it affect, what they're doing right now? Because, look, man, let's be honest. Youth sports is a money grab. And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. Do your thing. I've seen it. Part of the main reason I went off on my own, it's kind of felt like it was, do it more feasible and, create a more like one-on-one, relationship with the kids and stuff like that. But, with that being said, you're thinking like, okay, you go to some of these tournaments, your coaches might be there. You'll see them. They're usually coming there to look at one or two kids, right? And when you're a sophomore and junior, they're not looking at you. And if you are that skilled, you're probably on the EYBL league or Adidas circuit or something like that, Puma or whatever, a shoe circuit. And they're there looking at all you guys during the live week, and you're not playing as many tournaments. And so what you have to do is you got to be really, really aggressive. You got to, if I was, talking to a kid or a family, and depending on where their skill level was at and what position they play, what they do, and how, what their, attributes are, within, 200, 300-mile radius. That's what the schools you need to focus on. Because when you have a live period, those are mainly the schools that are going to be there. So if it's in Kansas City, it's going to be within, an hour's flight, 6 or 7 hour drive.
Sure.
Because they're going there. It's kind of like, coaches that know each other. They maybe played against each other in college, coached with each other, against each other. They kind of meet and congregate, talk about some players, but, that they're kind of really checking off something they have to do in the offseason. Because these college coaches have it really good now to where the trickle-down effect you'll see a kid that might have started out at D1 that end up at NAIA because he wants more playing time and he'll be able to get some shots in or whatever he's, deeming that he's wanting to do. Or one of his lead recruiters at a previous school is now head coach at a smaller school. So he feels more comfortable with them. What that means is at every level they're trying to be older, right? At every level, they don't have to go out and really recruit because the recruits come to them. What is it you have to do if you're up and coming high school kid? You have to start targeting some schools. Look at it like you picked your high school. Look at the coach, the style, the players have been there, how long they've been there, how long the coach would be there, and start contacting them. Maybe going up and doing one of their camps so they can see you. You got to think about it. If you go up there and say you really like the school and you go to their camp, the coach and the coaching staff and some of the players that help, they get to see you for sometimes some of the camps are like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Versus if they go watch you play one game, because you could have 4 games in a weekend and they only get to see you play once.
Right.
Well,
and actually maybe get the chance to actually watch you one time,
One
even
time.
if they're in the gym evaluating all sorts of other people too.
And it's better than coming up in the regular season on a Tuesday and you got a whistle happy ref, but you could have the same thing down in wherever tournament you're playing in. You could have a whistle happy ref. You could be playing on a summer team that really isn't team oriented. So you might only get 2 or 3 times to handle the ball or show your skill set and not just shoot.
Which again speaks to the quality of the coach too. If you're interested in a prospect, you've heard good things. You can't just take one game and write it off. You can't just take one game and say that's everything.
And
Actual evaluation is being around.
They usually come and they know they kind of follow you in your schedule because everybody communicates via social media. So it's a process that you have to go through, but it's like almost like a second job. Emails, follow-up emails, text messages on social media, all that type of stuff to get the traction because it's so competitive out there, especially at the high school level to go to, a college to get some, scholarship money, financial aid or whatever. Now you have the JUCO route, but if you go to JUCO and everybody, I can go to JUCO. Listen, JUCO is not for the faint of heart. JUCO basketball, they're trying to get theirs.
Yeah.
Iowa Western football is a really good program. They're developing you. They're winning national championships. It's hard. It's tough. You will be ready to go to major Division I football from there. Not every JUCO is like that.
No.
But, we've had Ryan Held on. If you don't have all the D1 football offers you have, you could go to Kearney and get developed, get mentored. If you have a plan to, move up, he's had a ton of players go other places and they'll help you do it. There's not every Kearney everywhere like that. So you have to be very strategic on who you approach, and then obviously you want it to be reciprocated.
And sometimes you're going to get burned, right? Especially if it's a new relationship, new guy in town, comes with a track record, seems worth a shot, And again, I go back to even just the first-time parents, the first kid in college, first kid in high school. You're never sure what the consequences, and that obviously sounds like a big word, but the result of your decision is going to be. If it's going to be a positive, if it's going to be a negative, but what else can you do but try, but go for it and do the best decision-making process you have with the information at the time. And that's where, I think the flexibility, the ability to leave if it doesn't fit what it is you're looking for is, number one, helpful, but number two, also can lead to a lot of temptation, right? If it's not exactly what you want right away, is it still good for you in the long run? Can you still see the big picture? Where I think a lot of people run into issues with the transfer portal, whether it's college or like we're talking about now with high school, Jay, is when, oh, well, that didn't fit what I was looking for. Oh, so you didn't get your touches? Oh, so you didn't get your shots? Oh, because your money wasn't quite right in your mind. I get it. Those things can be important, but that's where I think a lot of athletes, a lot of coaches lose a lot of people, is when that's the only reason for leaving. When there's, no other good being done behind the scenes. It's a toxic environment. You're not fitting in. It wasn't what you thought it was. Okay, maybe a natural break is best, but sometimes it's a good environment where you are getting developed and, the sport is coming along.
Yeah.
It just wasn't there right away. And we never know the full reason for transfer, and certainly not in any, prompt time. But I just hope there's enough critical thinking from the adults out there steering these young, athletes in the right direction and understanding as best they can when the right time is to pull out of a situation that's bad and looking worse versus a situation that's good and looking better.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to do your due diligence. You're never going to know it's the right decision until you roll, you spot the ball in football, jump ball or whatever it is. You kind of just got to go with your gut and then, hope for the best, especially, obviously around these areas. And so that's a hard thing for these kids is because they have hopes and dreams. Their young livelihood is in the hands of these coaches, which, whether it's taken, it's probably taken a little bit too lightly. And that sucks because, they've put in a lot of work and time for it. Right. And so, that's where, you need the higher ups to really come in and kind of oversee some stuff and make sure that you're just not turning a blind eye to some things that have been going on for quite some time. But, as far as the portal goes and getting recruited, recruiting is such a weird game. It's like speed dating or whatever. And it's you can't believe everything you hear. You got to go off what you see. Look, do they call you back on time? Are they, constantly in contact with you? You know what I'm saying? Are they, the man of their word or woman of their word if they're recruiting you? Then, that's probably somebody that really wants you, right? And that's where you want to go. You want to go where you're wanted. Then once you get there, you got to make them want you even more and do well. And these guys are really in a very powerful position where some of these colleges around here, you could, they can have you come in and you do the campus tour, kind of practice with the team. They'll tell you they're going to offer you. And the next thing you know, they're like, oh, we're good. We're not going to do it. See, like, I'm not with all that.
No.
Like, don't waste any of my players' time.
Right.
Like, you've seen him play 85 million times. I know for a fact he's better than some of the guys you got. Whether you're going to offer him or not, you should probably know that before you even have him come up there. And also, I would advise the parents, go take the visits, but you got to really press the issue. The one thing my dad handled my recruiting in high school. He never talked to a high school coach in any sport. That's in track, baseball, basketball, football. Didn't want to do that. Saw some things, and there's probably some times he was thinking about it, but he never did. But in recruiting, one of the best things he ever did is that, getting all these letters in basketball and football. It's great. I'm looking there, and I'm just like, man, this is great. I can go to all of them, right? He's like, no, we're going to separate the ones. Like, we're not going on any unofficial visits, basketball-wise, or visits football-wise, because we were trying to get it done pretty early. In the different signing periods, it was going to be unofficial, and it kind of coincided with the AAU schedule. Is that we're not doing any of that unless they're offering a scholarship, unless they tell me they're giving me a scholarship. You're not getting on a plane, and we're not getting in a car. That's the best thing he did. And and reason why is because it separated the talk from the facts.
Yeah.
And it really narrowed down my list.
How did that land initially with you? Well, I mean, did you have a choice in it? Were you like disappointed that you didn't go to see all these places at all, or were you just like, okay, Dad, you've been there, I trust you?
I was just happy to get recruited. You got to think, like, I was getting more big time basketball offers in my sophomore year than I was football. My first offer in basketball was kind of went like side. It was Wichita State and actually University of Nebraska Omaha. Oddly enough, I was just looking through it. My dad sent me I used to keep I used to collect football cards. So he got like 3-hole puncher, and then he put all the letters in there and he separated football and basketball. So I looked at the dates.
Wow.
Had all those, and then my first like football letter was from Army.
Hello.
The second one was from like St. Olaf. I mean, I was like, oh, heck no. I said, this football stuff. I thought I was a bad boy in football. I said, this thing got to pick up. Yeah. I was like, this got to pick up. You know what I'm saying? And so once I started to roll, though, right, football was a little bit later. Basketball was already kind of hard. And that's why I said we went and watched Cincinnati. And I was like, yeah, that don't really look like what I got out there. That, you know what I mean? So then I was like, Wichita State. I was like, they ain't got no brothers in Wichita. Because I looked at it, and they were always talking about, I think, Austin Carr or whatever like that play for the Atlanta Hawks. I used to watch Austin Carr because it was on TBS all the time.
Oh, sure.
So I was like, okay, then, different schools. Then once I started picking up, my dad kind of stepped in and really, separated it. And it was good because it allowed me to make some better choices and really look at some things. Because when you're getting letters from like USC, Notre Dame, all these West Coast schools that are like, they never probably had seen me play live or maybe even had a scout or knew anybody in. You got to think, when I was Minnesota was not a hotbed for football.
No.
I was the first one to leave to go to a major program, the state, since like John Alt. And his son plays for
Joe.
plays for the Chargers.
Mhm.
Like it was him and I think another guy, maybe Rod Smith. I think they both went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And there might have been another guy or two, but I was the first. I mean, it was like my high school coach was like, "You sure you want to go to Nebraska?" Yeah. The Gophers weren't recruiting me really.
Right.
And so
thanks, Kevin.
So so it was, so then it made it clear on where I could go, where I couldn't go. And where I wanted to go, how far I would consider going. I mean, Miami was the farthest, Maryland came and offered, but then it was after that, it was like, okay, I'm in this kind of 6, 7, 8 hour. I don't know how far like Missouri and Kansas State would be from Minneapolis, but that's generally about the same as here in Nebraska, and made it a little bit easier. But I think that's what you have to do as a parent when you're going to these high schools. You got to really get them to commit. A high school coach, when you're going there for orientation, he should know who those players are in any sport: baseball, basketball, football, track, softball, girls basketball, all that stuff. You should know. In the first impression that they have is how you greet them or how they're greeted in that orientation. That ninth grade coach, you and him or her need to be lock and step in that first reception that you see him. Because that sets the tone. That's the first person that, as a freshman, you might be playing for. You have to be there with them. That's my coach, right? It's just kind of like, when you open the door and the first time, one of my daughters got to meet a boy. You got to be, hey, dap up. Let's, you got to set the tone.
Yeah.
And those are the little things that on both sides you have to really take into account.
That's a long list.
It's tough.
That's a lot.
And that's not even half of it. I mean, I started writing down some of the stuff, and I broke it down from 4th to like 6th or 7th grade, 8th to 9th and 10th grade, 10th to 12th grade. Then I put to how to pick a high school, how to pick a youth program. I mean, it's tough. And if you don't have like somebody to bounce that out, you could really make some mistakes. And nobody goes through this whole thing of youth sports, high school sports unscathed. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
So how do you handle the bumps and bruises?
You got to have some undeniable confidence in what you've done. And it usually comes from work. And then obviously, obviously belief too, because you got to, that's what the kids are going to feed off of. I don't know how many kids I've talked to over the last 2 or 3 years to going to practice, not wanting to go into practice, talking about the cliff. Some of these coaches would never know. The same, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would never know. And it's not any credit to me, but it's that they just let you know that they don't really have a pulse on these kids. I mean, fortunate enough to have a relationship with all these kids. Like, this was going back and forth with Lazarick the other day.
Oh, sure.
So now the pressure's on Big Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, you jumped out there, dog, and showed yourself. Now you're going to be looking at Lazarick Houston every night.
You ready?
You're ready. Yeah. And he'll be ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, congrats to them. We'll take a quick break, come back, get a couple more minutes before we end this Thursday. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here, and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena May 2nd and 3rd. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, April 25th, Memorial Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Kings of Leon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets are on sale now at ZachBryan.com. Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Very quick segment here. Old school to new school way. Trying to solve all things of navigating high school sports here in the capital city of Lincoln. I'm going to start charging people for this, Austin. I'm straight up.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
And yeah, but look, it's an interesting topic. Obviously, the transfer portal. Obviously, there's a May 1st date or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different rules. How many times you can transfer? If I don't even know how it is. Where you move, where you live, and all that other stuff. So you got to know the rules. You got to you got to get on the phone. You got to ask questions. You got to press the buttons. You got to hold people accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. And as the kid is, or boy or girl is progressing, you do as a parent or mentor have to continue to communicate and allow them to communicate. Is this something that you want to continue to do? Because as competitive it is to go to the next level, any level, to play any sport, which is huge now. It's even more of a bigger honor now because of the portal. Every year, the, stipulations and what you need to invest in becomes higher. And you have to make sure that you're willing to do it, and you have to be willing to invest in it as well, because you're invested into your son or daughter to get to where they want to, because ultimately they go get a free education. They're able to play the sport that they love. They could meet somebody in college that could work out, and their career could start off just like that. And you could be in the middle of Missouri, and it could be a life-changing experience. That's why you have to press the buttons. That's why you got
day after day, not just once.
Every day. That's why you got to hold the coaches accountable. That's why you got to get off. Maybe on a Tuesday you want to watch your show, but there's somebody playing the sport, or go to a Friday night football games and have a schedule, because it'll be all worth it. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when they're being successful, whatever they move on to, you won't look back like, man, I wish I would have watched another Golf Channel or something like that.
Right.
You think like, you know what? It's great. You want to see your kids be successful. So with that being said, appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back live on the air tomorrow, me and Austin, doing our things like we always do, putting a bow on your week. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school to new school way. We'll holler at you tomorrow.